morning just got more interesting. Distilled and barrel-picked for your listening pleasure. Bo Bishop, a local sports media legend. What William T. Sherman was to the Union Army, he is to Northern College football. A husband, a father, and middling youth sports coach. He's friends with Central Ohio sporting royalty.
Talking to Ohio State Athletic Director Ross Bjorken. Coach Day walking on with us right now. Good to see you, buddy. Good buddy Austin Ward. My good buddy Tim May, the Tim May Show. The great Doug Lesmerises joining us.
Hi, everybody. Dom Tiberi here.
Oh, Reese came in and he handed me papers.
Yeah.
And then he said, "You see that button? That's the only button you need to worry about. Don't touch. There's 8,000 buttons in front of me." Oh, I didn't know what he was talking about.
The one that says on.
We blew the budget on this imaging, and only two guys answered our ad on Craigslist. Ryan Baker and, Eric Reeser. Act accordingly. You're now listening to Bishop and Friends.
Bishop and Friends is sponsored by Diamond Seller, your true jeweler for over 75 years.
It's Getaway Day. Happy Friday. Eric Reeser, Ryan Baker, Jacob Reimer on this final day of the week edition of the program. Good morning, boys. Baker, how you feeling? Less than 24 hours out?
Oh yeah, we're coming up on what is it? About 12 hours?
Sure.
From airport time. We'll be heading to the airport about 3 a.m. for that 5:10 flight. So.
And you're off for a week, so you're not going to be doing any work from Florida.
We are just waiting for 2:00 right now. You know what? Maybe I'm just waiting till noon. Maybe I'll start.
Maybe wait until 11.
Maybe I'll start drinking for the updates
Pop a cold
today,
one
this afternoon. Who knows?
Since it is, like I said, Getaway Day, after the program, listeners can bring their kids in and they can touch the equipment. Speaking of the mics, push the buttons. You're not going to be using them next week.
They can even climb on Jacob Reimer. Why not? Use him as a jungle gym.
He is a tall producer.
I'm okay. I'll pass.
He's got to get ready for that because he's got one coming, so he's got to get used to that. Bring your kids in and let him know what parenthood's going to be like this fall.
One, I don't need 10.
Yeah, but what better way to prepare for one than 10? I don't know what we're talking about now, but
if you can take on one child, or if you can take on 10 children, you can take on one child.
That's right.
It's very true. As Fridays happen in the summer, it feels like we've gotten Friday news dumps over the past couple of weeks. And I wonder if Naji Harris and his agent had wished that maybe the news would come out, or they had waited on the news to come out. Just give me 48 hours. Just let it get to Friday, that we can dump it Friday afternoon, and then nobody will figure it out over the weekend. Because I think what Naji Harris's agent, Doug Hendrickson, did yesterday was just get it out there because it was already starting to matriculate. So I think you had the San Francisco Chronicle had a police report of a fireworks accident on the 4th of July that resulted in injuries to several attendees, one of those being Chargers running back Naji Harris. And so this from Adam Schefter, where the agent for Harris, Doug Hendrickson, confirmed that he did sustain an eye injury after that mishap. The injury was, according to Hendrickson, Naji Harris's agent, superficial, and he's expected to be ready for the upcoming NFL season. But a police report about that same incident said one person was hospitalized after he lost fingers in the accident.
I mean, we tried to tell everyone, right?
That was my lasting message last Thursday.
Come back with all your digits.
All your digits. Let's show of hands here. Let's just practice safe fireworks use.
And listen, we're joking about this a little, but obviously this is a serious thing and serious consequences. Any fan of the Blue Jackets knows this. Jason Pierre-Paul, somehow he was able to continue playing. But, I mean, if anybody's seen the pictures of that hand, I love how this says superficial, but then it also says eye injury. I feel like no eye injury is superficial.
It's like the minimally invasive knee, ankle, or back procedure. That doesn't exist. Like, you've injured your eye. One of the things a running back needs is vision, or at least good vision, to move between the tackles. Like, the Chargers, I don't think, have had a 1,000-yard rusher for 6 or 7 seasons.
8 seasons. Melvin Gordon in 2017.
And I know they're not bringing in Naji Harris, who was not wanted by the Pittsburgh Steelers anymore, and think he's going to be that. But it's all about the opportunities and what you do to make the most of them. This ain't that.
And I would think, and obviously Naji Harris just signed a deal with the Chargers as a free agent, but they also drafted Amarian Hampton out of Jacob Reimer's University of North Carolina, And listen, anytime you miss is another opportunity for that kid that's waiting in the wings to take your job. I know like some of these contracts have clauses where these guys can't be playing basketball or doing crazy water sports or skiing and stuff like that, nothing to get them injured. I think we're going to have to put some fireworks clauses in these contracts.
Yeah, I've even seen like trampoline clauses, and you said motorcycle clauses, jet skiing clauses, but it almost feels like an intelligence test. I mean, if you've got, and especially for a lot of these NFL players who like they're the breadwinners, not just for their immediate family, but for a lot of the members of their extended family. And that's a lot riding on you. And you have a lot of responsibility. And this is just irresponsible. And it feels like every year we keep coming into these things. And that's why you say it a little bit tongue in cheek going into a 4th of July weekend, but it gets real when you come out of it and say someone lost fingers. Naji Harris injured his eye because of a mishap that you probably should have been smarter about.
And listen, we don't know if Naji Harris was the one lighting the fireworks off. Maybe he was just there in attendance and somebody else was doing it, and like the box tipped over and fireworks got shot in his direction. So we don't totally know what happened with this. Maybe Naji Harris was just sitting there and watching and minding his own business, and it was just a freak accident. But still, you gotta be ultra careful when the professionals aren't doing this.
Yeah, in situations like this, you never want to be the example, but I would hope that you would learn from this example. And at 4th of July parties, when someone brings out the fireworks and you say, well, I've got a lot to lose here, maybe excuse yourself from that, or let that person know, hey man, there's too many people here for you to be kind of messing around. Because every year we hear about it. And it feels like with social media and with reporting, it kind of being as dogged as it is in a lot of these instances post July 4th weekend, with the agent having to come out and say, yeah, he was injured, because you were going to find out about it anyway. So there was kind of no hiding this. We are going to be continuing our 20 most interesting college football programs today. It's the Clemson Tigers. And what had been kind of everybody point and laugh at Dabo Swinney over the last couple of years, last season turned itself from an assing at the beginning of the year to Georgia, where everybody again pointed and laughed at Dabo because he was talking about his program worked in the name, image, and likeness of the Lord. But the Tigers were able to put together a hell of a regular season run, post that Georgia loss week 1, make it into the ACC championship game, win the ACC championship, and then make the college football playoff. Now the Tigers return the most experienced and probably the most talented team in the country. Don Munson, the voice of the Tigers, is going to join us at 11:30 in Baker. I will say if Clemson hoists the national championship trophy next January, we're going to have to give you a lot of praise, because I think you're the first of anybody here to really get on the Tigers for what they could be in 2025. And
it kind of happened. I was just looking at futures bets for the college football national championship, and I saw at the time Clemson on ESPN Bet was 20-1. And I thought that's kind of interesting because I knew they had Cade Klubnik, and obviously Dabo is a guy who has done it before. And then I just started looking into them more, and I was seeing all these numbers like, man, Klubnik was better than I thought last year. Like, he put up a Heisman Trophy type season. And not only from the passing side, he rushed for over 600 yards. He was their second leading rusher last year. And I didn't realize Klubnik had that part of his game. I thought he was more of just a drop back, prototypical pocket type passer. But he can move a little. And then I looked, they're returning their top 3 wide receivers. They have 2 defensive linemen that are projected first rounders, one of them in the top 10 or 5 of the draft. Wait a second, they're returning 81% of their production. Man, their schedule isn't tough. And it just, all these things started snowballing, and I was like, I think this Clemson team can get it done. And listen, Reese, this is a credit to what Dabo has built there, when in the last 5 years, you go 10-2, 10-3, 11-3, 9-4, and 10-4, and people are like, what's wrong with Clemson? They're having some down years. They've put themselves in that category of Ohio State, Alabama, Georgia, where if they have 2 losses, it's like, what the hell happened this year?
You get a lot at this time of the year of false excitement for teams. I know reporters that we've talked to throughout the week would Colorado, with Miami. When they talk about this team could have a real year this season, and a real year, I mean compete for a conference crown, make a push towards the college football playoff. I think this is the first where I can really say, yeah, they better make the college football playoff this season. But Dabo, only one of 3 coaches remaining in college football with a national championship. Obviously, you've got Bill with several Super Bowl titles. So 4 coaches with real championship pedigree. So again, Don Munson, the voice of the Tigers, at 11:30. We'll talk all things Clemson football. We'll have Doug Maurice, Kings of the North podcast, coming on at 10:30. I was really intrigued when you were talking with Tyvis in the crosstalk after T-Bone and Tyvis that Doug went and hung out with Cardale and Tyvis at their apartment when they were students at Ohio State. So I'm interested to kind of get a story or two from that because, again, our 20 Most Interesting Programs takes up the 11 o'clock hour. We will do What We Learned This Week coming up at 10 o'clock. Coming up next, the entity that usually doesn't listen might have actually listened this time. It's Bishop and Friends on The Fan.
We're the girthiest radio station in the history of radio. Uncomfortably girthy. This promo is uncomfortable. The Fan, Ohio's girth destination.
Got one of those days that never stops? Try a stop at Speedway and refresh the vibe with 69-cent large big gulp drinks. Get 69-cent large big gulp drinks at Speedway with Speedy Rewards. The convenience stores of Speedway. Valid through 8/26/25. See app for full terms.
For over 78 years, our family's been part of your love stories. At Diamond Seller, we offer bigger diamonds, better prices, and timeless designs for every chapter of your life. From your first yes to your forever I do, trust the jeweler who knows diamonds best. Visit Diamond Seller today.
You ever feel like your money is just lying around? Switch to Huntington Bank, and your money is always doing something.
Like what?
Like automatically pushing more to savings so you can take that trip.
I like trips.
Who doesn't? It even tracks your progress. You're almost there.
Wow, I better pack.
And it charts your spending so you know which vacation hat you can afford.
How does it know I like hats?
Let's get more from money. Switch to Huntington Bank. Welcome. Eligibility requirements apply. Some features may require enrollment.
Hey, what's up? It's T-Bone. Guys, listen up. How many of you out there have been diagnosed with sleep apnea? Maybe your partner can't tolerate you snoring every night. You can't stand your CPAP machine. I totally get it. But the good news is there are alternatives to the CPAP machine. And Dr. Mark Levy is here to change your sleep and your life. Trust me, your significant other will thank you later. Dr. Mark Levy can customize an oral appliance that opens your airways, helps you breathe better, and of course, it stops your snoring. That's the point. It's quick, it's comfortable, and it's an alternative to those bulky, loud CPAP machines you always hear about. For over 15 years, Dr. Mark Levy has led the way when it comes to treating snoring and sleep apnea. And he's helped countless patients breathe easier, sleep better, and live healthier, more energized lives. If you're snoring and not sleeping, you need to call Dr. Mark Levy's office today. Schedule your appointment now with Dr. Mark Levy at 1-800-MORE-SLEEP. That's 1-800-MORE-SLEEP. You can also visit him online at sleepbettercolumbus.com. Once again, that's sleepbettercolumbus.com.
Let's be honest, we could all use a little vacation from the ordinary. But with Tim Hortons' new refreshers, you don't need to pack your bags. Just sip, relax, and enjoy your refreshing 16-ounce vacation. With tropical mango packed with real pineapple and mango pieces. And strawberry watermelon kiwi featuring real pieces of strawberry and kiwi. Also try it with lemonade or coconut milk. A choose-your-own taste bud adventure. Head to Tim's for the new refreshers. Your 16-ounce vacation awaits. Only at your neighborhood Tim Hortons. At participating U.S. restaurants.
Imagine what it would feel like getting tackled head-on by a 240-pound linebacker. You'd be in serious pain, right? But if you're unbuckled in a car crash, at just 50 miles an hour, you become a deadly projectile that can slam into other passengers with 8 times that amount of force. Don't let someone else take the hit. Buckle up and visit buckleup.ohio.gov to learn more. Brought to you by ODOT and ODPS.
What does summer bring to mind? Lazy days by the pool? Hot dogs on the grill? How about large, sweaty men putting work in to defend their national title? Yes! Your summer home of the Buckeyes, The Fan.
Now is a great time to schedule a back-to-school dental appointment. Dr. Hal Jeter, president of the Ohio Dental Association, is here to tell us more.
Your child's teeth and gums need the right food, nutrition, and vitamins to grow strong and stay healthy. Help them maintain good oral health by brushing every morning and night, flossing, visiting the dentist twice a year, and developing good eating habits. As kids head back to school, it's important to know that foods and drinks high in sugar, acidity, and other cavity-promoting substances are often low in nutritional value, and they have the potential to create plaque capable of damaging tooth enamel. A back-to-school dental appointment can diagnose any potential problems and improve your child's oral health. Ohio Dental Association member dentists are located throughout the state, are dedicated to providing the highest quality dental care, are bound by the highest ethical standards, and obtain superior ongoing education and training. Ask if your dentist is a member of the Ohio Dental Association so you know you are being treated by the best. To find an ODA dentist in your area, visit ODA.org.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Happy Friday, everybody. We will see another summer-like afternoon as those temperatures get into the low 90s, but it will still be humid with mostly sunny skies and minimal chances of showers and thunderstorms. It'll be a lot more isolated today. Mostly clear skies tonight and lows in the 70s. And then for Saturday, we'll see temperatures getting into the low 90s. The humidity still building in and plenty of sunshine with a better chance of showers and storms the second half of the day. For The Fan, I'm meteorologist Meredith Garfalo with your 10 weather impact forecast.
Here's a quick 10-second reminder that the Buckeyes have won the Natty. Also, we are all the games, and we always will. Thank you. Your home of the Buckeyes, The Fan. Keep your friends close and your producers closer. You're listening to Bishop and Friends.
Oh, yes, you are. Reeser, Baker, Reimer. Rolling with you until noon today. Rothman and Ice will follow this program. Next Tuesday, the boys are going courtside. Anthony and Maddie are going to be live from the Schottenstein Center as they bring you exclusive access to Ohio State basketball's summer workouts. They're going to sit down with head coach Jake Diebler and select players for insider interviews you won't hear anywhere else. Rothman and Ice live from Buckeye basketball summer workouts this coming Tuesday from noon to 3. Who let them in is what a lot of people are going to say.
Here's the question, though, for this. Are they finally going to do Maddie's half-court challenge where they said, what was it, he could hit 1 in 3 or 1 out of 10 or something like that? Are we going to make sure this gets done? That's what I have to ask Maddie and AR today.
Yeah, that's a good question. And we will get clarification as the boys waltz in here sometime this morning. Did he say if you gave him 10 tries from half-court?
It was either 10 tries or 3 tries from half court that he would make one. I think it was 10.
I would say of the people here, Reimer's got the best odds if you were to give him 10 half court tries. I'm not making a single one. You give me 10, you give me 20, you give me 30. None of them are going in.
Listen, I like rhyme time, and there's nothing that I hate more than saying what I'm about to say. But I think Timmy Hall's got the best chance.
Reimer was a college basketball player.
True, but he struggles beating Tyvus sometimes.
It's a pop-a shot.
Struggles beating Tyvus sometimes.
It's not an actual basketball.
An actual hoop.
Listen,
an actual basketball.
I'm just saying,
a real court.
I feel like
Timmy's
I can make it within 5. I think I can make it within 5.
All right. Well, since Rothman and Ice will be out there, Reimer, you might be working Tuesday. Tim, you'll definitely be working.
Rhyme time could leave straight from here and get over there.
I think so. You could do it. So they start at noon, Rothman and Ice do, every single day. Do it in the 1 o'clock hour. We get you out to the Schottenstein Center with Timmy. Make it happen.
I'll get my updates in the system, and then...
Oh, I could fill in for you and do it.
Then we'll go out there.
Look, for the good of the station,
it would be great content.
I think it'd be a lot of fun. Although I did say this week we weren't doing any college basketball talk. I lied. The NCAA Division I committee on something or other met yesterday to discuss expanding March Madness. They left that meeting with no decision or recommendation made regarding NCAA tournament expansion. I was saying this last week about their ability to just kick the can down the road. Oh, discussions will be ongoing. Like, can we make a decision, please, sometime regarding anything?
Yeah, why do we need to keep this dragging on?
Do you have to let it up to the courts to make you do something before you actually do anything important? And what it screams to me, Jacob, and I don't know if you'll agree with this or not, but they're kicking the can down the road to eventually get to a yes, you can expand the tournament. Like, the fact that they're discussing this and what they probably understood yesterday was that nobody was on board with this. Because I saw nowhere where people were like, yes, tournament expansion is good, but from Charlie Baker, Dan Gavitt, and their television partners, because that equals more money.
It's interesting to me because like a few months ago, it first came out that they were expected to move to 76 for this upcoming season. And then this week was the eventual decision and announcement coming that we were going to get it. And so them to extend it on and not come to a decision is interesting to me because it tells me that there are people within the room that are wanting to keep the tournament how it is. Because that's what it seemed like coming into it, that all the talk was, it was expansion. That's going to happen. It's inevitable. It's happening this week. It's going to happen for this year. But now it could go on furthermore. So we'll see.
I hate it.
I think this is your, like, sometimes things happen. I don't know. You can't come to an agreement, whatever. I think this is your sign to leave it alone.
Exactly.
We didn't need to expand it to 68. And I think we'll all agree, like the first 4 over in Dayton, that is a fun time. And having it there at Dayton every year is very cool. And Dayton is an awesome place to have that. But we don't need it. Like, if anything, we need to scale it back.
I feel like I've been hearing this from a bunch of people, and I've been an advocate of it too for the first 4 in Dayton, is to just make that like the last 4 teams in. Have all the 16 seeds actually in the field of 64, and then the last 4 that actually don't technically make it into the tournament or on the, like Ohio State last year, they're playing in Dayton for a spot in the field of 64.
Yeah, the idea that you win your conference only to get sent to Dayton for one of the first 4 games, to me, is asinine.
It's giving them a chance to actually win a game, but you could also pull off the impossible and beat a 1 seed like we've seen twice now.
Jeff Rimmer's middle half asks in the YouTube chat, where did you play your high school basketball and what were your senior year stats? Do you know those off the top of your head?
So I played basketball in Circleville, and I played college basketball at OU Lancaster.
Go Bobcats.
Averaged about 10 points a game. I am in top 10 3-point percentage at OU Lancaster. I'll just throw that out there.
Top 10 all time?
Yeah. It's like 35%.
Have you ever tried? I mean, I'm sure you tried a half-court shot. When was the last time you tried a legitimate one?
Oh, man.
If you can remember that.
I mean, like in a game or?
Any setting.
Just in general.
I guess. Did you have the stones to try one during a regular game?
No.
Okay.
No. Only like on like a last second thing, like before the half
Big
or
ol'
something.
heave.
Yeah. But I don't know. I play in some men's league tournaments and stuff like that. So if we're just shooting around, I'll try some of that. It's not too bad.
That's awesome. Like, we need to get you involved in this with Maddie next week. And I'm a little bummed that I won't be here, but I think we need to make it happen.
If it happens, well, you'll definitely see it.
I'm sure.
In regards to,
not next week. I'll see it when I get back.
Well, you see it on, that's what you do it. That's what we do everything for these days, right? Social media. You put that content out there and it can live for the next couple of months.
Speaking of content out there, did you see Jeremiah liked the clip that Tyler posted on the fans? Jeremiah Smith liked the Feinbaum clip. Just fueling that fire for the Buckeyes.
About Michigan. We've put a couple Feinbaum things out there because we told this to him yesterday. Whenever he says something and we view it in our scarlet and gray colored glasses, or I guess our scarlet and gray colored headphones, it's always, I don't know, adversarial is the right word. I at least wouldn't think it's adversarial, but when Paul says something, your ears perk up here as Buckeye fans. Was it about Michigan?
No, it was about
the Texas
about
thing?
his comment that Ohio State would struggle to make the playoffs. When we asked him yesterday, that he said, I don't really remember what I said, talking about his appearance on Get Up on July 4th, where he said he thought Texas would win that opener and then Ohio State would struggle to make the playoffs, even saying that he wouldn't be surprised if they lost again to that team up north. And Jeremiah liked it. Just like, okay, keep doubting.
Good. I'm hoping that they understand the need to defeat Michigan. I don't think Ohio State's ever a team that needs bulletin board material. Like, you should be motivated enough every single day playing against the best players in the country or practicing against the best players in the country to go out and to understand the mission is to repeat as national champions. And I'll agree with what Paul said yesterday and the difficulty it is.
It's really hard.
Especially with returning 8 guys on, trying to, replace 8 NFL caliber players defensively. Like this August 30th matchup between Texas and Ohio State is going to be real interesting for a number of different reasons. But when you have a quarterback that we think is good enough, like Arch Manning, and he's got a defense that's very untested, that will be untested up to that point, I can get behind, Ohio State slumping in that.
I mean, the fact of the matter is, we know what kind of talent Ohio State has on their roster every year. Incredible. And what they put out there. But there's a lot going against this Buckeye team this year, right? A brand new starting quarterback who we really haven't seen anything from either of. We think it's Julian Sayin, but either of these guys, we haven't seen a lot. You've got a brand new starting running back. You have 8 starters that you're replacing on defense. And I think this might be the biggest thing of all that we're all not thinking about is you have 2 brand new coordinators. And listen, Brian Hartline has been here for a while. Mm-hmm. He has been groomed for this position, but we've never seen Brian Hartline call plays before. What is that going to be like? And Matt Patricia, there's going to be an adjustment to the college game. And listen, Jim Knowles was one of the best, if not the best, to do it in college football right now. But it took him a couple years, right, to get acclimated to Ohio State and get everything right. So there's a lot of things here that are against Ohio State's favor this year. The fact of the matter is, though, talent-wise, they're still one of the top 3 teams in the country.
I agree with that point. It's interesting to see the Daily Fan Poll asks, do you consider Ohio State and Penn State rivals? Do you consider that a rivalry? And I don't think I do, but I could be moved. I'm on the fence with it. I could be moved one way or the other. Right now, with about 260 votes, it's 51 yes, 48 no, 48.8% no.
While I want to consider it a rivalry, like the past decade or so, like I know Ohio State's dominated the series, but they've had enough like big moments in the game to consider it a rivalry.
I don't think you can consider it when one team doesn't.
Well, Penn State's unrivaled, according to the Nittany Lions.
When one team wants no part of it, I mean, it can't be a rivalry.
And I think that, like, with the talent, we talked about Clemson. You talk about the 3 most talented teams in college football. I think the fair thing to say is Ohio State, Clemson, Penn State. Texas you could put up there, too. The 4 most talented teams in college football entering 2025. Did I list... Is there anybody?
I mean, you could make arguments for Oregon. You could make arguments for Alabama. You could make arguments for Georgia. I bet that's the handful of Notre Dame has a really good roster coming back.
But like for Penn State, man, it feels that if they don't win the college football playoff this year, or at least make the national championship game, like now or never, James Franklin.
Yeah, if James Franklin doesn't do it now, Penn State has to decide, I believe, are they okay with what they are, or do they want to win a national championship? Because if they don't do it this year, I don't think James Franklin is ever going to do it.
You had mentioned Jeremiah Smith earlier, liking a little bit of bulletin board material. If Jeremiah Smith, who's worth every single solitary cent someone's willing to pay him, and then more for his name, image, and likeness, has to go through this NIL go nonsense, I wonder if they get a hiccup. Does Ohio State tell NIL go to hell? We'll discuss that in 2 minutes. It's Bishop and Friends on the Fan.
Texting enrolls you into reoccurring automated text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Hey, Dan, haven't seen you around the gym for a while.
Yeah, I've really fallen off. Since I turned 40, I just don't get the results I used to get.
Could it be lower testosterone?
Lower T.
Happens to most guys after 40. I was in the same boat until I started using Nugenix Total T2.
Total T2, the new one I've seen on TV.
Yep, it's the next generation testosterone booster for both free and total testosterone. It's packed with even more man-boosting power, sending nitric oxide levels skyrocketing in just 3 hours.
It actually works?
I feel like I'm in my 20s again. I've got more energy, better results in the gym, and things are even better in the bedroom. Send them a text and get a complimentary bottle.
Text now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T2, the #1 testosterone brand at GNC. Plus, text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo X, our most powerful fat incinerator ever, absolutely free. Text CASH to 231231. CASH to 231231. CASH to 231231.
These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
When you walk up and down the stairs, do you feel a crunch in your knees? Or when you lift your arms above your head, you hear a click in your shoulders? Have you tried steroid shots and neither suggested surgery? Before you go under the knife, you should hear me out. Hey, it's Tyvis Powell, and I want to tell you about something that helped a lot of people get their lives back without getting more meds and without having to have surgery. It's QC Kinetics, leaders in regenerative medicine using the treatments like advanced cellular therapy and platelet-rich plasma, all designed to actually help your body heal itself. Their cellular treatment contains growth factors and healing properties to maximize your own body's ability to heal itself. 92% of patients report satisfaction with their results. Learn more about something that could be life-changing. A licensed medical provider will go over your x-rays or MRI and see if you're a good fit for these breakthrough treatments. Find out if you're a good candidate. The consultation is free. Go to qckinetics.com/Columbus or call 380-208-4544. 380-208-4544. That's 380-208-4544.
Bishop and Friends is sponsored by Diamond Seller, your true jeweler for over 75 years. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
What's up?
What's up, man? What's up with you?
Sponsored by Newman Roofing. For all your roofing, gutter, or siding needs, call Newman Roofing today at 614-NEW-ROOF or visit online at newmanroofing.com.
What's up on a Friday? Name, image, and likeness. And how do we regulate NIL deals in this new revenue-sharing era of college athletics? I don't think anybody really knows. What the College Sports Commission, who has a website, is trying to do is establish guidance and then establish rules on how schools, how collectives, how affiliated businesses can enter into and provide money for the name, image, and likeness of student athletes. This was June 7th, I think, when the Deloitte-backed NIL Go service went up, requiring current and incoming players to enter in deals over $600. Now, I don't think that there's probably anybody you've heard of on Ohio State's roster with a deal less than that. So I don't know where they came up with the $600. But it's cute to think that someone's going to say, yeah, Jeremiah Smith, I should say, I'll give you $600 for this because he's certainly worth much more than that. And who is the NCAA? Who is the College Sports Commission? Who is Deloitte to tell Jeremiah what he's worth relative to what a company or a person to tell Jeremiah Smith what he's worth? If this, and there have been about 1,200 NIL deals submitted to the Deloitte Clearinghouse, and according to Yahoo Sports, about a third of those have been approved as of right now. Now, the idea when this was created was that if Deloitte Clearinghouse does not approve your deal, it cannot happen. But good friggin' luck telling someone that, no, you cannot do this business deal because you have no enforcement. You have no teeth.
Let's just fire up more lawsuits.
Right?
And listen, I wonder, like, what the parameters on this. Again, it's the thing as we go along with this, we have more questions. But, like, so we know Jeremiah Smith has a deal with Adidas, right? Just make it like it whatever the deal is. But let's just break it up. All right. Every game you wear Adidas before or after, which you probably can't do with Ohio State because Ohio State has Nike. But every time we see you out with Adidas, $600. Is that a new deal each time? Every time Jeremiah Smith eats a Chipotle burrito, $600, a new deal. I'm sure there's ways around this. This is just asinine and ridiculous, right? Like, can we get and I get you can make up things, right? You want to make sure that these are legitimate business deals. But can we just get the schools in the NCAA out of the NIL? And let these guys, if they can get it, go get it.
No Dream on the YouTube chat has a valid point, and he submits the response with such confidence that $600 is the IRS 1099 reporting requirement amount. So that makes sense that they would pick that number, but it's again to the point of who on Ohio State's team is just doing those $600 deals. I mean, clearly they're going to be more than that. The College Sports Commission offered additional guidance to schools about the definition of valid business purpose and the importance of sharing information about entities involved in third-party NIL deals. There's payor association, who's giving the money to the athlete and what's their relationship. Are they friends? Are they just business acquaintances? Or how does party A know party B? Valid business purpose. Is the party giving the money to the athlete a valid business? And do they have a commercial product that this athlete in their name, image, and likeness will help sell? Range of compensation. That's pretty obvious. What's the money? When I see valid business purpose, I go, well, what did Michigan just do with $10.5 million to Bryce Underwood? Was a valid business purpose by Larry Ellison's girlfriend telling her, Larry, you need to pay this guy. And if you're Michigan and the NCAA says, well, we kind of need the valid business purpose here, go to hell.
And I'm sure it's real easy, right? You put him in an Oracle commercial or you have him make an appearance somewhere. There's
ways of getting around it.
It's pretty easy to do. And I don't know how you can, again, like you're right. You don't want Larry Ellison just walking up to Bryce Underwood and handing him a check for $10 million and saying, come to Michigan. But there's simple ways to get around that, to be like,
Let's
hey.
not be naive to think that that's not happening and that's not going to continue to happen. Like with the idea from name, image, and likeness, yes, it was for athletes to come on campus and earn it. Well, now the NCAA gave up on that with high school inducements. So is a business going to come to a player and say, out of high school, we're going to give you this money? How logically would you think a 5-star quarterback would be able to push products if nobody really knows who that kid is? Like the logic there is flawed as anything. And this was from Dalton Forsyth, who runs the collective for Utah State. Now, I do think schools like Ohio State and Michigan probably aren't too worried about any of this because whatever. But schools like Utah State that can't really afford enforcement or sanctions on them by the NCAA, or even the threat of it, would make the smaller schools, the group of 5 schools, rethink what they're doing. But he has a real example of a deal that was submitted that was denied. It included social media posts, appearances, and brand promotion. Real deliverables, clearly documented. The total compensation, $2,300. The athlete had responsibilities. The compensation matched the work. Still denied. So once it's denied by the clearinghouse, you can go through one appeal, and then it goes to an independent arbitrator. If I'm this Utah State collective, I'm not even going to the second appeal. I'm getting my lawyer involved. And I'm saying you need to put an injunction on their denial of this.
I mean, don't you just pull the Kansas basketball routine here and, whatever, prove it. Come on.
I think there's 2 paths with it. I think if you're in Ohio State or Michigan, and I know that Ross Bjork's been out front with respecting the clearinghouse and respecting the rules and agreements established by the House versus NCAA settlement. But at the Woody Hayes Athletic Center, it feels to me they're just like, yeah, just go ahead and do it. To hell with this. But a school like a Utah State, yeah, probably.
I'd love to know on that example what it is that they say makes it unapproved. Like what is their reasoning? And I know it's not on there, but what's their reasoning as to why this deal is no good?
So it is. The prospective deal is with an entity that has a business purpose of providing payments or benefits to student athletes or institutions rather than providing goods or services for the general public for profit. As a result, the prospective deal does not satisfy the valid business purpose requirement. So it needs to be a company that has a product. And if it does not, then it does not meet this clearinghouse.
But again, sometimes isn't your company the product? And if he just does an endorsement for, again, there's so many gray areas, and it's so easy to say, hey, this is an actual business purpose.
But again, going back to how it relates to Ohio State and the biggest names in college, like Georgia, you think they give a hell about this? Like Alabama, LSU. None of those schools cared about it when it was McDonald's bags under the table. Now that you've got to try to make it legal, or you're trying to put some pretty words and parameters around this thing, you think they're going to give a heck? They got a quarterback they see as a 5-star from Texas, and they want that kid to play football for them. Here's money. Please come play for us. We'll figure the rest out later. It's, again, I go back to with the NCAA and the basketball expansion, you've got to make decisions, and you've got to stop kicking cans down the road, because your insistence on kicking the can down the road for so many years has us where we're at now. Great friend of the program, Amanda Kristovich, said she reached out to Tom Mars, who's been involved in legalities of college athletics but forever, and asked him if he's going to file a lawsuit on behalf of several collectives. And he declined comment. So, more lawyers, more lawyer fees.
You know that's my favorite thing, right? Lawyers in sports. Makes me so happy and excited.
And I'll bring it back around to how does this affect Ohio State? Not at all. Not at all. Not really, not Ohio State football, not Michigan football, not Alabama football. Those schools will be just fine. Josh, they are literally making decisions and not kicking the can by doing this clearinghouse, right? They're trying, but because they kicked the can for so long, this clearinghouse doesn't provide anything concrete. Because the clearinghouse with this guidance is still trying to figure things out on the fly. And that to me feels like while you're not kicking the can's still kind of rolling down the street without anything being figured out. And we go into the 2025 football season with, I would say, more questions than we did in the 2024 football season. But that's what the fun of this is, right? At least fun for me. It's chaos, and I think chaos breeds some fun opportunity. It certainly creates more parity in the sport when you have guys that are at Wisconsin 1 minute and say, to hell with you, I'm going to Miami.
Gives us things to talk about, right? Gives us to say what we think, and
it certainly
nobody cares.
It certainly connects to Clemson, who for the longest time did not want to even dip their toes into any of this. It was Dabo refusing to get anybody out but from the high school ranks, and it wasn't going to be giving these kinds of big deals. Now he's kind of forcing a little bit of marriage between the two worlds, right? Recruiting, developing, keeping them in-house, and also if I've got holes on my roster anywhere, I use the transfer portal to get them. Don Munson is the voice of the Clemson Tigers. He will join us at 11:30 as the Tigers are our most interesting college football program of the day. Doug Maurice coming up at 10:30. Coming up next, how much to watch Cooper Flagg play basketball? It's Bishop and Friends on The Fan.
We used to have a billboard with our host's face on it, but only ugly people work here now.
You mama say you ugly, hey!
The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
Career changers, including veterans and active duty service members. Your transition starts here. Go from GI to IT in a matter of months. Become a certified cyber warrior with training at My Computer Career. Cybersecurity specialists are in high demand, offering IT pros great opportunities and a rewarding lifestyle while protecting our people, liberty, and treasured institutions from cyber threats. Deploy your career in IT today at mycomputercareer.edu/CWP, an elite CompTIA certification partner.
VA education benefits are available to those who qualify.
The big one is back. The Good Guys 27th Summit Racing Nationals presented by PPG. All this weekend at the Ohio Expo Center in Columbus. Over 6,000 of the nation's baddest hot rods, muscle cars, and trick trucks. Don't miss Good Guys autocross racing action. A tire-smoking burnout competition. A pro street takeover. Earth-shaking nitro thunderfest. Meet the top builders in the industry and more. All this weekend at the Ohio Expo Center. Details at good-guys.com.
Delaware County Veterans Services is ready to help you access VA benefits, emergency financial assistance, dental and medical grants, transportation, and more. Give Delaware County Veterans Services a call, 740-833-2010 to schedule an appointment.
Hi, this is Bob Masheter from Dick Masheter Ford. Thank you to all of Central Ohio as we head towards 60 years of doing business in the Buckeye State. Dad opened up in 1967 simply trying to offer a better way to buy a car, and we've been working ever since to serve our neighbors. We have served you through wars, recessions, and even a Chinese virus. Here is to serving you and your kids and your grandkids for the next 60 years, except on Sundays when we're closed, because it's the right thing to do. Still 24/7 at masheterford.net. Thanks.
Thinking about buying your first home? Now, with Third Federal, you can buy your first home and pay no PMI. Hi, I'm Mark Stefanski, Chairman and CEO of Third Federal. Private mortgage insurance, or PMI, can cost thousands of dollars over the life of your loan. And you may not realize PMI doesn't protect you. It only protects the lender in case of default. But at Third Federal, you can buy a home with just 5% down and no PMI. Plus, first-time home buyers get $750 off a closing cost. So if you're thinking about buying your first home, Go for it and visit thirdfederal.com.
Even before you find a home, lock in 6.44%, APR 6.47% on a 30-year fixed-rate purchase mortgage. Visit thirdfederal.com or call 1-800-3rd-FED today. APR reflects 15% down for $350,000 loan amount. Rate requires automatic payment program and is subject to change. Restrictions apply. See conditions for closing cost coupon at thirdfederal.com/FTHB. Equal housing lender.
The Columbus Zoo invites you to follow the footsteps and the tales of animals from around the world. Explore our newest region, North America Trek. So what are you waiting for? Get your tail to our trails only at your Columbus Zoo.
In the old days when people lived to be 40, you only had one option for listening to your favorite show. But now, ooh, baby, radio, podcast, the Fan app, and YouTube, just to name a few, live or on demand. You have no excuses. The Fan.
Every great team has its core players, but when the season gets tough, adding the right free agent can make all the difference. The same goes for business. At Robert Half, we found that 67% of companies surveyed plan to increase their use of contract talent to handle workload peaks and backlogged projects. With Robert Half's specialized recruiters' experience, combined with our award-winning AI, you can quickly find the skilled candidates you want. At Robert Half, we know talent. Discover how we can help at roberthalf.com/talent.
As a fan, you know all the important sports cliches. And when you save money by bundling your home and auto with Progressive, you can get out there and give it 110%, even though that's mathematically impossible. And remember, failure is not an option. Well, it's always an option, just not a good one. But you're not worried because you've got ice in your veins. You're on fire. How can both of those things be true at the same time? Well, that's between you and your doctor. So get out there and leave it all on the field. Leave what? Who cares? Just leave it and save with a bundle from Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
All your favorite Fan shows are available when you want them.
Head to 971thefan.com and hit that subscribe button.
The Fan, Ohio sports destination. Taking the art of sports radio and day drinking to a whole new level. You're listening to Bishop and Friends.
They won't be one of our 20 most interesting programs because it's Auburn, and I think the last time Auburn was nationally relevant was the Kick Six. But Hugh Freeze is their head coach. I think he's entering his third season, and it's not gone well for the Tigers on the recruiting trail. And for Hugh Freeze, he's logged over 11 rounds of golf in the month of June. And if you pay any attention at all to recruiting, at least for Ohio State's perspective, that's an incredibly busy month for Ryan Day and company.
You love picking on guys golfing, don't you?
Well, it's not golfing. It's golfing too much. You know, it's like when Steve Spurrier, wasn't he who did he coach in the NFL? Was it the Washington Redskins?
I think that's correct.
And he didn't coach. He just showed up to games, and then he went golfing. Like, I get it. Golf's fun. Golf's an escape. But if you're trying to be serious about winning in college football, you've got to be busy in June because Kalen DeBoer's not on the range 11 times. And Ryan Day was golfing with Nick Saban once at the Memorial Tournament, which is fine. As long as everything else is in check, do whatever the hell you want. But Hugh Freeze, buddy, you might have, other priorities. Your priorities aren't where they should be. If I was an Auburn fan, I'd be pissed.
I think it's tough for these guys probably that have coached a long time. And it's why we think a guy like Saban got out and why we think maybe
that's why we know Nick Saban got out.
A guy like Urban may not want to get back involved in this. It's got to be tough for these guys because guess what? There was a time when they had a summer, right? Their teams weren't on campus and they could go do things like this. They could go golf 11 times in a month. And I think this has got to be hard. And we're going to talk about Clemson later in our 20 most interesting. And this has been tough for Dabo, right? We have seen Clemson be slow in their transition to NIL, in the transfer portal and all that. And we'll talk about their transfer portal this year. They used it, but really not a lot.
Yeah.
And it's got to be hard for these guys because they've done this stuff away for so long. And this isn't just a gradual change, right?
Oh, no.
This has been fast and furious. Totally been flipped on its head here in the past year or two. So I kind of get like where Hugh Freeze is this is, and listen, Hugh Freeze has been cutting corners
he's making
for years,
$6.5 million this year.
Yeah, but this has got to be hard for him because usually in June, this is what he did.
It's hard
he
for
went
everybody,
out and
though.
golfed. And it's probably hard for some of these guys to adapt and change. But if you want to win and you want to be the best, this is what you have to do.
Especially at a place like Auburn that's got a national championship in the last 25 years.
Well, if things continue to not produce and say after this year or in a couple years he gets fired and then eventually wants to get another head coaching job, would they really put all that trust in him if he's putting more time into golf than actually recruiting to build a program?
They'd be foolish to. I mean, you're barely out recruiting Toledo in the class of 2026.
And listen, here's the thing with Hugh Freeze, right? The thing that has kept getting him jobs while he keeps getting in trouble for cheating is that they were winning. They kept winning. Yep. He was a guy that won wherever he went, so he kept getting jobs. If you lose the winning, people aren't going to deal with the headache anymore.
So after the golf scuttlebutt, they asked Hugh Freeze, what's going on here? Why are we losing recruits? Why aren't we doing very well on the recruiting trail? Like I do think there's Auburn boosters in the state of Alabama that are really, really passionate about getting their program back to national prominence, or at least back to competing with Alabama now that the Tuscaloosa left the SEC. Like, there's an opportunity there, but it doesn't feel like they're taking the best advantage of it. Hugh and this is kind of a Deion Sanders excuse. He had said that the Tigers were working within the parameters of the House versus NCAA settlement while hinting that others might not be. Well, they're cheating. Like, we're trying to do all the things by the book, which is laughable that Hugh Freeze would do anything by the book, and they're all cheating. That's why we can't have a competitive advantage. Well, Alabama quarterback A.J. McCarron was on the Dynasty podcast and had this response to Hugh Freeze.
Hugh Freeze is full of shit. I think Hugh Freeze is trying to do whatever he can to save face. He's starting to feel pressure at Auburn, going into his third year, not having the success that the alumni, the boosters, everybody donating a lot of money thought that he would have by this point. I think he's trying to figure out and scramble on why they are not successful.
It's pretty good because he's right.
And look, he went on to talk about that, and he said, if you're in Alabama, it's just a fact that former Alabama players have more opportunities than Auburn. So Auburn is already at a disadvantage there, maybe in the recruiting battle with Auburn and Alabama, thinking, hey, if I go to Alabama, maybe I've got a better shot to make it into the pros because of the track record they've had with Saban and whatnot, even though he's gone. But also it seems like there's more opportunities for former Alabama guys outside of that, like we know here. In Columbus, Ohio, if you're a former Buckeye, you've pretty much cashed your check for life if you want to live here and you have opportunities that a lot of places don't afford you. And it sounds like that's the case in Alabama as well. So, if the money's the same, maybe a kid's going to choose Alabama over Auburn. So there are things in there, but you're right. Like, this just kind of sounds like excuse making.
Jacob Reimer, you're a crazy person. How much of Cooper Flagg did you watch last night while the Mavericks were taking on Bronny James and the Lakers in Vegas Summer League play?
I watched the whole game.
Good Lord.
I could have answered this just by looking at Reimer's Twitter feed.
I needed him to answer it on the air, though. This is an audio medium. I need to hear that on a Thursday in the summer, you spent 2.5, 3 hours watching Vegas Summer League play on, and this was on ESPN. This was a big boy matchup. This was one of those things that took over social media from a sports perspective because it was the number 1 overall pick in the draft, taken on and a lot of times being guarded by the son of LeBron James. Did it deliver, in your opinion?
I think so. It was a very good game. Came down to the last second where Bronny had a shot to try to win it.
Did he miss it?
He missed it,
Come on.
But no, the energy in the building was unbelievable, it seemed like. I felt like I could feel it just sitting on my couch watching the game. But Cooper Flagg did struggle a little bit. He had little butterflies at the beginning, but then...
This was his first game?
Yes.
Okay.
And I love how long he played, too. Like, he was... I don't know how many minutes he played, but he wasn't on the bench for a lot of the game, which was very cool to see for a number 1 pick.
I love how positive our guy Jacob Reimer is, because all of these guys are going to work out and be great. Like, I'm a negative fan, and I'd be like, dude, this guy is a bum. I can't believe they went out and got this guy. He's never going to amount to nothing. And Reimer loves everybody and everyone. And listen, he's good at what he does because he has reasons for exactly why it's going to work. Like, I saw him talking about someone for the Bucs, and he's like, man, the Bucs have been needing a spot up 3 guy, and he's the perfect guy, and this and that. So he has great reasons for why it's going to work, but they're all working. I love his positivity.
I feel like I could throw every team that had a first round pick, and you could tell me the Nets had 5 first round picks, but I could tell you like the team, and you just shoot at me who they picked, and where he played basketball. It's passion, right? But we're also not talking about basketball. This is a football show. Because we do 20 Most Interesting Programs at 11, from here until Ohio State starts training camp, we've got to move what we learned this week to next. It's Bishop and Friends on the Fan.
Catch the latest from the world of Ohio State athletics. Weeknights at 6 on the Buckeye Show. New special guests in everything scarlet and gray. The Fan.
Let's be honest, we could all use a little vacation from the ordinary. But with Tim Hortons' new refreshers, you don't need to pack your bags. Just sip, relax, and enjoy your refreshing 16-ounce vacation. With tropical mango packed with real pineapple and mango pieces. And strawberry watermelon kiwi featuring real pieces of strawberry and kiwi. Also, try it with lemonade or coconut milk. A choose-your-own taste bud adventure. Head to Tim's for the new refreshers. Your 16-ounce vacation awaits. Only at your neighborhood Tim Hortons. At participating U.S. restaurants.
Back to Hollywood Casino Columbus and the ESPN Bet Sportsbook for an all-star game celebration and watch party. When? Tuesday, July 15th. Compete in our home run derby at 7 o'clock for a chance to win an incredible experience at an upcoming Reds game, plus a $250 gift card. So join On the Money's Dave Biddle and me, Scotty Vegas. Compete to win at 7 and enjoy the all-star game at the ESPN Bet Sportsbook at 8. Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Hey, Drew and Jonathan Scott here. Build a customized renter's policy with American Family Insurance so you can protect your tandem bike on the go. Thief! Oh, he is struggling with that two-seater. Life's better when you're under American Family's roof. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Some exclusions may apply. Products not available in every state. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI and its operating companies. 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Newman Roofing, as part of their 2025 Commitment to Community initiative, is proud to sponsor the Fan and 10 TV's Beat the Heat fan drive, benefiting Life Care Alliance. You can help Ohio's most vulnerable residents deal with the extreme heat this summer. How can you help? Purchase new box fans and bring them to the nearest Franklin County Fire Station, or you can buy online and ship fans directly to Life Care Alliance. The collection and distribution of fans is to assist residents who are at risk of heat stroke or heat exhaustion. For more information, go to lifecarealliance.org.
This radio commercial was made to convince you to stop speeding. We can't use law enforcement siren sound effects on the radio, so we'll use other equally jarring sound effects to get your attention. Like telling you if you get a speeding ticket, it doesn't end there. You have to pay expensive fines. You can't go to your friend's wedding because that also costs money. And your insurance rates could increase. See? We didn't have to use law enforcement sirens after all. Getting a speeding ticket has consequences. Sooner or later, speeding catches up with you. Brought to you by NHTSA.
Bobby Carpenter here for Germain Toyota of Columbus. Summer is the perfect time to gear up in a new truck from Germain Toyota of Columbus. Right now, drive home the 2025 Toyota Tundra with 1.99 APR for 72 months, or take command of the 2024 Toyota Tacoma, also just 1.99 APR for 72 months. Get power, performance, and unbeatable savings, all at Germain Toyota, located at 5711 Scarborough Boulevard on the corner of I-70 and Bryce Road. Shop online anytime at germaintoyota.net.
At Delta Dental of Ohio, we understand oral and vision health is connected to overall well-being. With Delta Dental and Delta Vision, you get affordable, comprehensive coverage from a name you know and trust. Our plans are designed to keep your teeth strong and vision clear, so you can confidently smile at life. 2 great plans, 1 name you can trust. Learn more at deltadentaloh.com.
Stay hydrated. It's hot out there. So my teenage son just went out in sweatpants and a hoodie. It's 98 degrees. At least I know he'll be cool in our house, thanks to Atlas Butler. If something goes wrong, they'll fix it within 24 hours. They call it their comfort pledge. Get too hot?
Hey, my phone.
Oh, your phone. Should have known.
Atlas Butler is at your service. Call 1-800-FURNACE.
Adam Schefter here for Vivid Seats, your ultimate destination for all your sports and concert needs this summer. With a game-changing rewards program and an unbeatable selection of tickets, they make it easy for every fan to watch their favorite teams and players in action. Catch every home run and thrilling comeback in person from your favorite seat. Plus, every ticket is backed by a 100% buyer guarantee, giving you peace of mind with every purchase. Visit VividSeats.com or download the app today. Vivid Seats, the official ticketing partner of ESPN.
This is the story of the one. As a lineman, he does whatever it takes to keep the power on in his community. And he wants a partner like Grainger who does the same. Grainger offers the professional-grade products he needs, from voltage detectors to harnesses to hard hats, plus fast, dependable delivery, so he can rise to every challenge. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Broadcasting from the Lindsay Honda Studios.
Honda makes the cars. Lindsay makes the difference. Visit lindsayhonda.com.
WBNS-FM, HD1 Columbus. The Fan. Sports Center.
Good morning. I'm Eric Reeser. MLB's All-Star Game is next Tuesday in Atlanta. The break begins on Monday. Cincinnati looks to head into that break closer to an NL wildcard berth. Redlegs are on a 2-game winning streak after blanking the Marlins last night 6-0. Cincinnati's 2 games above 500 at 48-46. They're 3 back of the wild card spot. You can hear Reds baseball on the Fan tonight against the Colorado Rockies. We'll join it in progress following the Buckeye Show. As for the Guardians, Cleveland was rained out last night in Chicago. It was supposed to be game 1 of a 4-game set. They'll make it up today as part of a doubleheader starting at 3:10. Guardies enter the weekend series on a 3-game winning streak. And in soccer, Hell is Real goes down tomorrow. The Crew are at FC Cincinnati Saturday at 7:30. This update sponsored by BMI Federal Credit Union. Swimming in debt with rates as low as 8.99% APR. Save your summer with a debt consolidation loan. Visit bmifcu.org/consolidate.
The perfect show for quarter zips and khaki shorts. You're listening to Bishop and Friends.
20 most interesting programs has us knocking on Dabo's door. The Clemson Tigers will be the team of record at 11 o'clock this morning. We'll talk with the voice of Clemson football and basketball, Don Munson, at 11:30. Half an hour from now, Doug Maurice, the Kings of the North podcast with Bill Landis. That'll be at 10:30. I think Doug's podcast is the only one with a sword. So you'll have that to look forward to, which is very, very nice. But because 11 o'clock, 20 most interesting programs, we've got to figure out what we learned this week now.
We're not trying to do too much around here, but over the course of 5 days, you might have gleaned some stuff. Bishop and Friends present What We've Learned This Week.
I learned this yesterday, just doing prep work for the show, that Michael Jordan's house in Chicago, the one he couldn't sell for like a decade at Highland Park, one of the suburbs, finally sold. And this was back in December. It sold for $9.5 million, which I think is much, much less than what he wanted to sell it for. It is now available to you as an Airbnb. This is John Cooper. No, not that John Cooper, a real estate investor in the Chicagoland area who told NBC Sports that you can now rent the house. It requires a minimum 7-night stay. It's limited to 12 guests. Guests must sign a liability waiver and a non-disclosure agreement and then pay a $25,000 security deposit. But yes,
oh boy,
it's that Chicago house with the 2-3 on the gate. Jacob Reimer, our college basketball fan, expert of record, and massive Tar Heel, would you want to stay at this place? And would you pay $25,000 up front just to get the opportunity?
I, of course, would want to stay at it. But yeah, I wouldn't be able to afford it. If I was able to, yes, I would. And I would pay the money up front. I mean, you got a basketball court, you can run some games in there.
That's what the liability waiver is probably for.
Yeah. You got putt or not putt, a putting green, tennis courts. Yeah, you got it all. I'll gladly do that.
So I'm looking at this and I'm just thinking, one, I'm kind of surprised. 9.5 million. I thought maybe like that house. I'm sure that house is ridiculous. Like, I would think that maybe
Reimer just listed off the amenities.
Yeah, maybe it's
that's not a house. That's an amusement park.
Maybe it's sold for a little more than that, but I'm just thinking 17 and a half bathrooms. So my condo has 2 full bathrooms and 2 half bathrooms in it, and I can't stand cleaning all those bathrooms. 17 and a half bathrooms. Oh, you need a cleaning person just for the bathrooms.
Would that be a 2-day job? It's considering
at the
how
least, if you cleaned, I mean, you'd have to clean like one bathroom every couple of one bathroom
I think
every
it's a
hour.
full-time job,
Yeah.
right? Like
Yeah.
you have, like, I'm sure, obviously, if you're Michael Jordan, you have a cleaning person. You might have 2.
You probably have an army.
Well, and you got to think those bathrooms are probably pretty big too, like with a little fancy tub or a nice big shower, and then probably a long sink too.
Yeah, they're not just a commode, a small shower, and a sink here.
I mean, it's limited to 12 guests. I'll borrow a Chris Rock phrase. I got 12 friends then. I got 12 friends now.
How old did I just sound saying commode?
Not very old. I think if you looked at
Reimer's like, what's a commode?
I know what that is. I've heard it before.
Yeah, I'm not. I would not be interested in staying in this. You'd have to pay me. Here's the thing.
I'm interested in taking a tour.
I would love to use one of these bathrooms, but I'd be in and out.
It'd be a fancy commode you're using too.
I would hope maybe one of them has a bidet.
In and out, I feel like you're going to sit there and enjoy that time.
Well, yeah, I guess like 20 minutes maybe.
Maybe check out what's new on The Athletic.
Do my doom scrolling.
Play whatever.
I do my best doom scrolling on the throne. I'll tell you that much.
Great show prep right there. You know, you're just looking, scrolling, seeing what's up.
I'd go there and then I wouldn't leave for the amount of time that I'm supposed to stay there, just because there's so much it seems like to do in this house.
I thought this, and this was a couple years ago, like, would I buy a basketball player's house? Jordan's a whole foot taller than me. He's 6'6", I'm 5'6". What in his house can I reach?
Do you need a step stool to get up to the toilet?
I don't need, how many bedrooms in this thing?
It's
7
7.
bedrooms. So I'm going to need at least 10 step stools. That includes there's probably several kitchens.
There's
like, this
probably
isn't
steps
formatted
leading to one.
for a person of my height.
Yeah, I mean, you have to think, though, Reeser, this is perfect. Like, now you could
How is
sleep.
that perfect?
You could sleep in the bed, and Odie wouldn't be on your feet. You'd have plenty of room below your feet.
Do
on
they
the
even?
bed.
That's a good question. Would they even allow dogs into this? Because some Airbnbs do, some Airbnbs don't. I can't imagine if you're this John Cooper. No, not that John Cooper. You would be like, no dogs on this estate. Because I think they're still trying to actually sell the place. But to the point I think I just made about, I'm a shorter guy, but most people I think would skew to me, where they're not trying to buy a basketball house or a house with a basketball court. Like, what do I need that for?
And that's what No Dream says in the
this
YouTube
economy?
chat. He says most of these houses are like specifically built for the person and their interests and wants, so it probably not for everybody. And obviously it's not, because not everybody can afford it.
I was rude to both of you. I had a baseball thing I learned this week, but we can't do baseball talk on this show. Nobody tell Bo that we've done some. What did you learn this week?
What did I learn this week?
I mean, we learned, there was a great deal of things. Like, we learned about Colorado football. We learned about North Carolina football. Some about North Carolina basketball, if that's something you're into.
I learned that the Big 12 feels they're better than they actually are, I feel, in football. That was my biggest takeaway from the Big 12 media days this week. And I asked Paul Feinbaum about this yesterday, and I'm excited to get Doug Maurice's take on it coming up here at 10:30. But I guess I understand why Brent Yormark is thinking about this 5+11 in a little bit of ways, because I feel like if they do the 4+4+2+2, feel like he's limiting his opportunities maybe. The Big 12 is only going to get 2 teams in every year. But I don't think the Big 12 is going to have 2 teams worthy to be in the college football playoff every season. So I feel if they go 5+11, a lot of times they're going to be limiting themselves to just one team. And I feel like I would rather make sure I had 2 bites at that apple every year if I'm the Big 12 rather than 1. So I feel like I understand you have to advocate for your program, but Bo says this all the time. A man has got to know his limitations. And I think this might be a limitations thing with the Big 12 here.
Reimer, did you learn anything this week?
Well, I just saw scrolling through Twitter earlier today that I learned that Greg Oden is still playing professional basketball. He's playing in the Big Three.
Oh.
Yeah.
I learned that was still a thing just now from you.
Yeah. Saw
wow.
Putting in some monster
Good for
dunks,
him.
backing down guys and finishing through them just like he used to.
There's a great many what ifs in sports.
Yep.
And when it relates to the Buckeyes, he's, if not one of the biggest, up there. Certainly have that conversation if Greg Oden had stayed healthy. You talked about the Big 12, who had their media days this week at Jerry's World in Dallas. We learned a little bit about Cody Campbell. And if you're wondering, who is that? And if you didn't listen earlier this week, we discussed kind of what he's going to mean to the sport and what he means to Texas Tech. We'll tell you about that next. It's Bishop and Friends on The Fan.
We're known for three things: games, conversation, and Common Man yelling about things only he cares about. The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
Lanny went to college and racked up huge debt.
A little bit over $100,000.
For a degree he couldn't use, now what?
I had a friend that went to my computer career.
They even helped him get hired immediately after graduation.
One of the things I love about IT is that you can work from anywhere you want.
You could become an IT pro in just months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI with zero experience at mycomputercareer.edu. My Computer Career, an elite CompTIA certification partner.
It worked for me, and I know it can work for you.
This is one student's experience. Individual results vary.
Thinking about buying your first home? Now, with Third Federal, you can buy your first home and pay no PMI. Hi, I'm Mark Stefanski, Chairman and CEO of Third Federal. Private mortgage insurance, or PMI, can cost thousands of dollars over the life of your loan. And you may not realize PMI doesn't protect you. It only protects the lender in case of default. But at Third Federal, you can buy a home with just 5% down and no PMI. Plus, first-time home buyers get $750 off a closing cost. So if you're thinking about buying your first home, go for it and visit thirdfederal.com.
Even before you find a home, lock in 6.44%, APR 6.47% on a 30-year fixed-rate purchase mortgage. Visit thirdfederal.com or call 1-800-THIRD-FED today. APR reflects 15% down for $350,000 loan amount. Rate requires automatic payment program and is subject to change. Restrictions apply. See conditions for closing cost coupon at thirdfederal.com/FTHB. Equal housing lender.
Hi, this is Ron from the Good Feet store. Are you standing on painful feet all day? Don't lose hope. We want to help you live without pain. Discover your options and visit goodfeet.com or stop in today at the Good Feet store on Polaris Parkway in Grove City.
Lindsay Automotive is Central Ohio's big certified pre-owned outlet. LindsayCertified.com makes it easy to find the right car at the right price. All models include certified warranties and inspections, new car financing, and more.
Up to 1,000 pre-owned to choose from.
No matter what kind of vehicle you're looking for, Lindsay has it. Cars, trucks, vans, and SUVs. You'll love the shopping experience, whether online or in person.
Shop LindsayCertified.com.
You found the one, now find the ring. Hi, it's Alex Johnson from the Diamond Cellar. On July 25th and 26th, Wedding Weekend is back with event-exclusive pricing for 2 days only. Celebrate with buy one, get one half off wedding bands, 20% off diamond anniversary bands, and 10% off handcrafted custom bridal. It's the perfect time to upgrade, personalize, or say yes for the first time. Join us July 25th and 26th on Selma Road or at Easton Town Center.
Sometimes I hear a sparkling sound.
Like when we say, all you have to do is point?
There it is.
That's the sound of magic happening.
Magic like we can come the day you call us? Wow.
Call 1-800-GOT-JUNK or visit 1-800-GOT-JUNK.com.
Morning Juice, real football talk. Just two guys who aren't afraid to say what needs to be said. And that's how she wrote.
Sponsored by Riverside Bank of Dublin.
Now streaming mornings on YouTube and 10 TV Plus. Attack and dominate.
The outdoor drama Tecumseh is back this summer. The drama, the history, and the spectacle make Tecumseh one of Ohio's most beloved traditions. Tecumseh has provided thrilling live entertainment for 50 years, and the outdoor theater at Sugarloaf Mountain will provide a safe and memorable experience for your entire family. Get tickets now at tecumsehdrama.com. This message is made possible in part by the Ohio Arts Council. Tecumseh, experience the drama.
And now, Public Education Matters with Ohio Education Association President Scott Damaro.
I have taught many students over my 34-year career in public education, and I've had the honor of serving more than 100,000 public school educators as the president of the Ohio Education Association. As I retire from teaching and we welcome a new OEA president next week, I want to say thank you for this enormous privilege.
Public Education Matters, brought to you by the Ohio Education Association.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Happy Friday, everybody. We will see another summer-like afternoon as those temperatures get into the low 90s, but it will still be humid with mostly sunny skies and minimal chances of showers and thunderstorms. It'll be a lot more isolated today. Mostly clear skies tonight and lows in the 70s. And then for Saturday, we'll see temperatures getting into the low 90s. The humidity still building in and plenty of sunshine with a better chance of showers and storms the second half of the day. For The Fan, I'm meteorologist Meredith Garfalo with your 10 weather impact forecast.
Illini games have been airing on WBNS since before you were born and before your parents were born and before Abraham Lincoln was born. Trust me. Your home of the Buckeyes, The Fan. They'll offer betting advice, but don't bet on it being good. You're listening to Bishop and Friends.
Doug Maurice coming up in about 15 minutes. He does the Kings of the North podcast with Bill Landis. It's the Northern College football podcast that you need. And it's one of only one with a sword. So get that wherever you get your podcast, and we'll get Doug on again at 10:30. Tyvis told you in Crosstalk, the end of T-Bone and Tyvis, that Doug, while he was still a reporter for the Cleveland Plain Dealer at cleveland.com, visited him and Cardale when they were roommates together on the campus of the Ohio State University. So I'm interested to see how that dynamic was and kind of what Doug learned about the two men and what it was like for, Doug, who was an adult, a fully formed adult, when he was visiting two college kids in their campus apartment. Again, that'll come your way in about 15 minutes. We'll just make this a continuation of what we learned this week, because I forgot, and I forget every year, that Wimbledon's a thing. And I'm reminded that it is, in fact, the biggest tennis event on the planet.
I'd say so.
I don't know who Taylor Fritz is, but he's right now taking on Carlos Alcaraz, who I know, in the semifinal match.
This match has been pretty fun. It's going on right now.
Were you watching it during the show? Come on, man.
Just got it
I
up
need
on
you
here.
to focus on what...
I'm not...
Unreal.
I'm not locked in on it. I just see the scores and everything and catch a point every now and then.
Rhyme time. It's okay. I've been watching Wimbledon for 2 weeks.
We've had it on the TV.
So
it's kind of the benefit of doing this job is we can keep up with actual sports.
Sometimes it gives us segments.
Which is why I bring Fritz and Alcaraz, the semifinal match, into the spotlight, because it's, I think, been forever that someone has said about tennis there needs to be a men's star from the United States. Like, when is America gonna get back, internationally on the tennis scene? And that's a big, this is a big thing for Rothman. And then you've got at 10:30 this morning, Yannick Skinner and Novak Djokovic. That's your other semifinal matchup. So
that's a
pretty
big time
names.
matchup too. Yeah,
I know Skinner was the top seed in the tournament. So, I don't know. Jacob Reimer will keep you abreast to that.
Rhyme time. If you would have, these were the four you would think would be here, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, and there's also another American that lost to Sinner in the quarterfinals, Ben Shelton. He's another up and coming.
Ben.
Yeah.
I've never heard of that one.
I think he's 10th in the world.
He could have thrown out any name. I remember yesterday as we're trying to do our 20 most interesting programs with North Carolina football, he's thrown out guys that were recruited for North Carolina basketball in the transfer portal. I'm like, you could have hit me with any of those names. I'd be like, sure. Sounds great.
Like Luka Bogovic?
Absolutely. Yeah. Is he in the men's doubles at Wimbledon? I've been like, yeah, absolutely. That's the case. But Big 12 Media Days happened Tuesday and Wednesday at the Star in Dallas, Texas. That's a cool place to do your media days. I'm very interested to see in 2 weeks for Big 10 Media Days at Mandalay Bay.
I mean, it's
in Las Vegas.
Pretty cool place, too. You don't think Vegas and Big 10, but that's a pretty cool
We're going to
place.
have Austin and Berm there. They'll be doing content all week from sunny Las Vegas. And we'll, of course, have Austin on that Monday just to kind of see how this goes with 18 teams, the Big 10, and everything else that this conference is trying to do. a college football playoff expansion that they seem to be on an island about. You heard from Brett Yormark this week. He's on board with the 5+11 model, where the guarantees are for the conference champs, and it's the 11 best teams or the 11 most deserving teams by a committee. Tony Petitti, Big Ten boss, says the 4-2-2-1-3 model works best for them. And they will probably all continue to stump for that at Mandalay Bay in 2 weeks.
So real quick, you're saying Austin and Berm got approved, but the Bishop and Friends remote show did not get approved?
We were turned down at the last second, I was told.
That's some...
Yeah. So they were willing to fly us all coach, and Bo turned that down.
Coach, yeah.
Therefore, we can all not go.
I mean, we could have put Bo in first class and put us underneath with the luggage, maybe.
I'd have been a carry-on. I can fit into luggage, I think, on the overhead.
Oh, you could. That would have been a good idea.
But they said no. But we do have Austin and Berm there. So you're in good hands with coverage all week long. And that'll start on July 22nd. It's the same day ACC Media Days go down. But they'll be doing theirs from the College Football Hall of Fame in Atlanta. No, that's SEC. Charlotte is the place for ACC Media Days. Sorry.
So you just talk about some of the models there real quick with Tony Petitti and the 4-4-2-2. That's what he wants, and he wants it that way because the unbalance of schedules, right? The Big Ten plays non-conference games. Other teams don't. He doesn't want them to get penalized for that. And this is something where I can understand. Like, I understand Tony Petitti stumping for this, even though I think the Big Ten is going to be fine regardless. The Big Ten and SEC, it doesn't matter what model they play by. I think they're going to be fine, although Alabama left out last year. SEC only got 3 teams in. But it's kind of not said enough. It's kind of interesting. Like, I feel like Petitti's stance and Yormark's stance here on this should be flipped, but yet they're not.
It's a very good question, and I think even Paul was also wondering what the heck. Right? I mean, Jim Phillips is the ACC commissioner, and it's kind of the same thing for him, right? I mean, wouldn't you want to guarantee at least a couple every single year? Because you've heard Ross Bjork talk about the units, right? And those units equate to dollars. And the more teams you put in, the more dollars you get. And if you're guaranteed a set amount, everything else then becomes gravy. Because I don't see... Maybe I see the Big 12 champ as deserving, but that's probably about it in terms of teams from that conference that should make the college football playoff and legitimately compete for a national championship. I know Texas Tech thinks they're going to be one of them. When Kurt Cignetti snitched on programs offering $35-40 million for building their rosters earlier this year, he threw out Texas Tech along with Ohio State and Oregon and Texas. And you're like, what the hell, Texas Tech? Well, they got a landman. If you're familiar with John Hamm's character in the Paramount series Landman Monty, this is Cody Campbell, who in the mid to late 2000s, after graduating from Texas Tech, bought up mineral rights, land rights in West Texas, and had a gigantic oil company that he sold for billions of dollars. And now he's using those billions of dollars that he's got as fund coupons for Texas Tech to pay $5.1 million for a 5-star offensive tackle in the class of 2026. And when talking at Big 12 Media Day, there were coaches that were, thrilled. One said, good for them. I'm jealous. Another coach said, and this was to The Athletic, I don't know what to believe. I don't even know how it's possible. Those are big numbers. There will be a lot of young men taking pay cuts when they get done playing college football in relation to those players on the Texas Tech rosters and players all over the country. I think that's why you've seen quarterbacks decide to stick in college for a year rather than go to the NFL because they'd be taking a pay cut. And I completely understand. This is one coach that was talking to Justin Williams about what Texas Tech's doing. Quote, they're not just outbidding, they're outbidding other teams by 3 times. Wild, but it'll be interesting. If the players are good kids about the right things and about winning, I think it'll go great. But if they're about themselves, the first time adversity hits will define them. I mean, it's a similar case study to what happened at Texas A&M, where they bought 5-star recruiting classes. They bought top-ranked recruiting classes. And then when the dust settled, you had 1 or 2 of those players that still remained after several years.
And listen, Cody Campbell came out and said it, right? We don't know what the rules are going to be moving forward. No. We don't know if we can do what we're about to do in 3 or 4 years. So he's putting his money there right now, and he's trying to go out, and he is trying to give Texas Tech the best chance they possibly can to get into a college football playoff and win a national championship. And look, you can't blame him, right? But this is what we kind of talked about all along. Like, there's going to be a quick rush and influx of dollars for this, and people are going to be putting them in their college football team, and then there's probably going to be a market correction, and this is going to even out a bit. But we talked about the College Sports Commission, and kicking cans or not, they are slowly trying to put rules and regulations in place with all of this. And there may be a system here soon, whether that be these players being employees or not, where these NIL deals are capped. Like, you're going to have this much to pay from the university. These guys can make whatever in NIL, yada, yada. There's going to be a time where maybe they cannot do what they're doing right now. But, hey, Texas Tech is trying at least. That's what we talk about all the times with our pro sports teams is we want them to try. We want them to spend some money, and we want to go after it. Well, we're not used to this in college athletics, but that's what Texas Tech is doing. They're trying. They're putting their money where their mouth is.
It's interesting. I'm just looking over stuff from Big 12 Media Days, which Cody Campbell was at, like making himself known to everybody that this is going to be different moving forward with Texas Tech and how you view it. But Coach Prime also made his first appearance since April in an official spot for Colorado. And he said that he wants Byron Leftwich and Mike Zimmer to be on his staff. I think Zimmer's kid's on his staff. Pat Shurmur's their offensive coordinator. They've got, is it Marshall Falk?
Marshall Falk at running back coach.
Warren Sapp.
Doing something.
What are we doing here with all of that?
Listen, the Mike Zimmer thing, I kind of understand, right? Like, Mike Zimmer is one of
head coach in the NFL, coordinator forever.
Yeah, he's had some of the best defenses of all time. And Byron Leftwich, he's been a pretty good offensive coordinator in the NFL as well, too.
With the Buccaneers for a little bit.
I think he's still with the Buccaneers, right? Or maybe he's gone. No, he's gone now that I don't know. Maybe he is. Let's look that up real quick.
Give it a Google in the break.
I feel like he is.
Just talking with guys that cover some of those teams, and the Big 12 feels wide open. The ACC kind of feels the same way. We had Adam Lichtenstein from the South Florida Sun-Sentinel talking about Miami, who's also got a couple players they pulled from the transfer portal that factor to be top picks in the draft. And then they've got the Carson Beck conundrum.
Byron Leftwich, by the way, is on Deion's staff at Colorado.
He is.
He's there. So
I just see this. Deion Sanders wants to add Byron Leftwich, and this was posted today from Pro Football Talk. Said at Big 12 Media Days, he's praying Byron Leftwich will agree to coach at Colorado. Is this one of those things where they put him on the staff without telling him and be like,
says he is currently an assistant coach.
You're here now, so you might as well. Like we've already announced it. You can't pull it back now. We'll get Doug Maurice on the future of college football. What should happen with Penn State if James Franklin falls on his face again? And stories from Tyvis and Cardale Jones as roommates in college. All that in 2 minutes. It's Bishop and Friends on the Fan.
Hi, I'm Rick Germain, and at Toyota West, we're having our biggest pre-owned sales event of the year. With over 600 new and pre-owned vehicles, Toyota West at I-270 and Georgesville Road has the car you're searching for. And during our Go Forth sales event, every pre-owned vehicle is discounted and comes with a 72-hour exchange policy plus a 3-month warranty. At Toyota West, you don't have to choose between a great experience and a great price. We deliver both. Come see us at the Germain Auto Mall on Georgesville Road or get started today at ToyotaWest.com.
Cool cars, cool people, good time. It's the biggest and best hot rodding event of the year. The Good Guys 27th Summit Racing Nationals presented by PPG. All this weekend at the Ohio Expo Center in Columbus. Over 6,000 classics from across the USA. Shop the swap meet at Huge Vendor Midway. See which rides take home the crown of the 2025 Classic Instrument Street Rods and PPG Street Machine of the Year. All this weekend at the Ohio Expo Center. Details at good-guys.com.
You had a solid retirement dream. Sell your home in a few years, bank the equity, downsize, and travel. But with an unpredictable economy and the future feeling uncertain, you're wondering if that equity will still be there when you're ready. What if you could bank that equity right now? With Truehold, you can sell your home for its current value, so you can access your equity today. You can bank the cash now and stay in the home you love with an easy standard lease. Truehold even covers property taxes, insurance, and repairs. And since Truehold hands over your equity in cash now, it's yours to do whatever you'd like. Don't let a shifting economy put your hard-earned equity at risk. Visit Truehold.com and receive their competitive offer on your home in just 48 hours, based on its current value, not what's coming. Call 1-855-300-9993 or visit Truehold.com. The smarter, faster way to cash out on your home's value without moving. That's Truehold.com.
Bishop and Friends is sponsored by Diamond Seller, your true jeweler for over 75 years. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Sports conversation that's worthy of a toast, or at least a stiff drink. You're listening to Bishop and Friends.
Reeser and Baker rolling with you on a Friday edition of the program. We go out now to the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems fan guest hotline. The only podcast that has a sword, I believe, is hosted by this man, Doug Maurice, the Kings of the North podcast, wherever it is you do your podcasting, also available on YouTube. Doug, thanks so much for the time this morning. Our buddy Tyvis Powell told us this morning that when he was in college and his roommate was one Cardale Jones, you made a visit to their apartment to spend the day with them. Was it everything you thought it would be?
And more. First of all, I could not believe Ohio State let me do it. Second of all, I can't believe that Cardale and Tyvis tolerated me. But I just got to hang out with football players, and I think they played some video games, and some lame middle-aged guy was just sitting on the couch with them. And it was tremendous because I love one of the great things about college football is, like, people love the players. So any chance you have for the fans to actually get to know the players even 5% more, they were giving me, like, tours of their bedroom and stuff. It's like, oh, I have this poster on the wall. And I was like, this is the greatest thing ever. Because, like, the one thing, and I had Tyvis, what Tyvis is doing now is a surprise to nobody. He was among the smartest, most personable players I've covered in 20 years. But that national championship team, I had so many national writers say, like, not only is that a great team, but that was such a collection of great guys to talk to. And Cardale and Tyvis were just two great examples.
Now, Tyvis says that he was the cleaner, more put-together roommate. Is that true?
Yes.
Okay.
And I think, Tyvis is – well, that was the thing. Tyvis and Cardale would argue who was whose father. Like, they would address each other as son. It would be like, no, I'm your dad. No, I'm your dad. But honestly, like, if I was – breaking the tie there, I would be like, I actually think Tyvis is maybe a little bit more of dad here.
I think they still do that same thing, Doug, so nothing has changed as they've gotten older. Big 12 media days have been going on this week, and I feel like we've gotten a lot of honesty from a lot of these coaches, and they're like, we don't know what's going on. Good for Texas Tech that they'll be able to do this. We're jealous. And Brett Yormark has been up there. He's doubled down on his 5+11 model. Big 10 media days here in a couple weeks. Do you think we're going to get that same kind of honesty?
I hope so. I would love it. And I don't know. I don't know that we'll get it from the commissioner. There's, obviously it's been a big discussion point this offseason that the Big Ten just kind of sits back. Bo and I have talked about it and like sort of lets the other conferences take the lead when it comes to public relations and marketing. But like the Big 12 to me has really positioned itself well as kind of an outlaw conference. And I like that. Like if you're not going to be in the Big 2, what are you? And the Big 12 is parity. The Big 12 is competition. The Big 12 is like letting it rip a little bit. And I think honesty has to be part of that. So I don't agree with everything Brett Yormark is saying. I actually think 5+11 is not great for the Big 12. But I like when if they have coaches, Deion Sanders and Mike Gundy and people like that who aren't afraid to get out there and say stuff. I'll be curious because I would imagine the Big Ten has to have a plan, right? So I imagine Brett Bielema will let it rip at Big Ten Media Days and give us some doses of honesty. Ryan Day might do that. He's certainly a voice of the conference. But I think the Big 12, radical honesty for the Big 12, I think is a must. And I don't think the Big Ten's quite all the way there.
Doug, I'm glad you said that you think the 5+11 is not great for the Big 12 because I feel the exact same way. And for the reasons I feel that about the Big 12, I feel like the 5+11 benefits the Big Ten, but Tony Petitti doesn't want that. Are you surprised that Petitti is in favor of the 4+4 +2 +2 +1 model?
I'm not surprised that he's in favor of it as long as the SEC only plays 8 conference games. Because the math on that, if the SEC doesn't play 9 conference games and the Big Ten does, the Big Ten as a conference is guaranteeing itself 9 more losses a year because everyone's playing one more game and someone has to lose that game. And when you're talking about fighting for the 4th team in your conference, the 5th, the 6th, even the 3rd, and the committee's looking at overall records, you're going to be behind the SEC. So I like the Big Ten fighting because I think if the SEC gets to 9, and I think Petitti said that, then the conversation changes. So partners with the SEC, yes. Friends with the SEC, no. But I feel like it's a little bit of a 3-sided, like a standoff, right? Like Dwight and Michael and Nardog in the office with the finger guns at each other. The Big 12, the SEC, and the Big 10, they all kind of have different reasons for disagreeing on the playoff model. It's not a 2-sided argument. It's a 3-sided argument. But I actually like where the Big 10 is because they have to make sure the SEC doesn't completely get its way here.
Check out the Kings of the North podcast. Wherever it is you do your podcast, you can also find it on YouTube. Doug Maurice, our guest, he is the host of said podcast, and he joins us courtesy of the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems fan guest hotline. Doug, we had Paul Feinbaum on the show yesterday, and he made the point that it's difficult to repeat in college football as national champions, and certainly we would agree with that. He also said he thinks Texas will come in and beat Ohio State week 1, which is fine. But he also said something that I can't seem to get over, which is that he has faith in James Franklin and Penn State this year. And could that be just me not being you look at the roster and it's like, yeah, you should be competing for you should be in the national championship game. You should win the Big Ten. But the James Franklin thing has me unable to get over that hurdle. If James Franklin does not win the Big Ten next year, is he still coaching in Happy Valley?
So first of all, that's your fault for having Feinbaum on. Second of all, he has no idea what he's talking about when it comes to Northern college football, so I'm glad you guys reached out to me. Third, it is not as hard to repeat in college football as you think, because we have run through this, and we did a show on why Ohio State repeating is more likely than you believe. We know there haven't been that many repeats. Georgia, Saban did it once, right? But so many defending national champs got back to the national title game. If you look at the last 25 years, starting like with the BCS in 98, so many teams got back. If a couple more teams had won the national title game, we would think differently on that. So it's not like these national championship teams have been completely derailed during the season. They lost the last game. So I do think we have to be careful. Of course it's hard. There's 135 teams who aren't the defending champs and one who are. So the math's against you. It's not as hard as you think. And a lot of teams lose a lot and get back. I do think there is like a winning pedigree that matters in here. So Ohio State can absolutely do it.
Doug,
Penn State has to compete. I have to give you like 9 answers. I don't think anybody has to win. Penn State has to look good, right? They have to win a big regular season game. They have to be competitive in the playoff. And obviously, if anybody's in the spot that Ohio State was last year, if you want to use national championship or bust, I don't love that phrasing. But if you want to use it, Penn State's the one this year would apply to.
Doug, I didn't know Eric was going to ask you a question about Feinbaum, but it seems like every time we do have Feinbaum on, he causes some kind of stir, and it riles up Ohio State fans. And I was just wondering, you, as the host of the Kings of the North podcast, now obviously Paul has the platform of ESPN, but do you get the same kind of Southern hate like Paul gets Northern hate?
He is a professional provocateur. Like, that's why he is the man. Yeah. So I don't even know if he always thinks the things that he says, right? So, I mean, you got to be careful. Everyone just be careful out there. The guy's a genius at what he does. We say we want our show to be Feinbaum of the North. We want to represent a Northern view. Now, I don't want to go around saying stuff I don't believe, but I've been calling out Georgia as everyone was in a state for about a year and a half there where they thought it was Georgia and everybody else in college football. I always thought that was fraudulent. I mean, Ohio State probably should have beaten Georgia in that semifinal. And the year before when Georgia won it, they lost to Alabama in the SEC title game. And if Alabama's receivers hadn't all gotten hurt, they might have lost in the championship game to Bama. So Georgia has never been as good as the national media will tell you. And the SEC was propped up by Nick Saban for a decade and a half. And so overall, the SEC has never been as good as the national media will tell you. And the entire sport is changing, and the era of SEC and Southern dominance is over. We are not going back to that. We're actually working on a 5-part narrative podcast about that that's going to drop in a couple weeks, explaining what happened in those 25 years and why it's over. So we get a little bit of Southern hate. I mean, I've been quoted a little bit in some more North-South stuff. We would love to be a voice of the North because we're not lying when we say it. The South is good, but the South is not as good as people act like they are. And that is the cold, honest Northern truth.
Doug, we're in the middle of our 20 most interesting programs for the upcoming season, and we're going to be going through Clemson a little later. I am a big believer in Clemson for this year. We'll have their play-by-play man, Don Munson, on. If you had one question to ask Don about the Clemson program for this coming season, what would it be?
I probably know how good Kid Klubnik is going to be. I would probably ask him to try to characterize the potential of this Clemson defense against the other great Clemson defenses that we have seen. Because we know they have probably maybe 2 top 10 picks on the defensive line, and they've had that. I think they might have had a defensive line one year that had 4 future first-round picks on it. So is this potentially as good of a Clemson defense as he's seen? Something like that.
The Sword of the North, Doug Maurice, our guest. Doug, thanks so much for the time today. We'll catch up with you next week.
Thanks for having me, guys. And just to clarify, I actually have 2 swords, just so we know.
Double the swords, double the fun. Thanks, Doug.
Bye, fellas.
2 swords, always better than one.
And he joins us courtesy of the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems fan guest hotline. We'll do Thing or Not a Thing next. It's Bishop and Friends on the Fan.
The sound of Paul Keels calling a Buckeye game is erotic.
Oh, yes.
Your home of the Buckeyes, the Fan, Ohio sports destination.
When you speed, you have less time to react. Follow the speed limit to keep other road users safe. Speeding catches up with you. Paid for by NHTSA.
At Kroger, you never compromise. You get high quality and low prices. Like you never compromise your meal with our spring salad mix that's guaranteed fresh. And you never compromise your budget with lower prices on over 1,000 items. Hand it to Kroger shoppers. You never compromise. Kroger. Fresh for everyone.
Save big on 6-packs of Coca-Cola, Pepsi, or 7-Up. Right now, select varieties are only $2.99 each with your digital coupon. Kroger. Fresh for everyone.
Road trip! This summer at Tire Discounters, your tires are your passport to savings, because you're driving to Paris,
Texas,
then it's off to Rome,
Georgia,
and you'll be kissing the Blarney Stone in Dublin,
Ohio!
Right now, save up to $434 when you buy 4 tires, and that includes a free alignment and oil change. Stop at Tire Discounters before you see the world.
Hi, this is Bob Masheter from Dick Masheter Ford. Thank you to all of Central Ohio as we head towards 60 years of doing business in the Buckeye State. Dad opened up in 1967 simply trying to offer a better way to buy a car, and we've been working ever since to serve our neighbors. We have served you through wars, recessions, and even a Chinese virus. Here is to serving you and your kids and your grandkids for the next 60 years, except on Sundays when we're closed, because it's the right thing to do. Still 24/7 at masheterford.net. Thanks.
Delaware County Veterans Services is ready to help you access VA benefits, emergency financial assistance, dental and medical grants, transportation, and more. Give Delaware County Veterans Services a call, 740-833-2010 to schedule an appointment.
Get ECO.
ECO.
Aaron, you know that complete HVAC system we sell for $12,000?
Yeah, it's for homes that are 1,600 square feet or less.
How big is 1,600 square feet?
3-bedroom, 2.5 bath. Those homes are what America is made of.
Get ECO.
ECO.
Other companies are charging $15,000 to $18,000 for that same system.
Yeah, I know.
And if your family doesn't need a new furnace, ECO will replace the AC component for just $8,500. Why are we doing this?
Nurses, police officers, office workers, firefighters, and school teachers live in those houses, Jerry.
The people that America is made of live in the houses that America is made of.
We're just doing what we can to restore balance to the universe, Jerry.
Get Eco.
When a person is doing well, they're making money. But when they're doing good, they're helping others.
Eco plumbers, electricians, and HVAC technicians.
We're bringing balance to the universe.
Go to geteco.com.
When it comes to your roofing, siding, or gutter needs, call Newman Roofing. 614-NEW-ROOF. NewmanRoofing.com.
Hello, big voice guy here. I've been hired to tell you all about the Fans YouTube channel. Did you know you can immerse yourself in Buckeye goodness like Austin and Berm's daily podcast, The Beat? Yes, sirree, Bob. Subscribe today.
2 years ago, Bobby Carpenter completed treatments for knee pain at QC Kinetics. So we're checking in with the former college and pro football player to see how he's doing.
I've been asked a lot, like, how long does this last? How long does it work? I go, I've had mine for a couple years, and everything feels very good. It feels just as good as it did when I started to turn the corner.
Bobby's an active husband, dad, and business owner. That's why 2 years ago, he heard about QC Kinetics, the nation's leader in regenerative treatments, and he knew he could trust them for his chronic knee pain.
And thankfully, with QC Kinetics, I was able to go through this, and my activities are the same as it was. I'm able to coach my kids in sports. I can play golf. I can go run.
QC Kinetics patients like Bobby don't miss a beat. No surgery or rehab, just freedom from debilitating joint pain. Ready for lasting relief from joint pain? Call QC Kinetics today for your complimentary consultation and see if you're a good candidate.
Call QC Kinetics, 380-208-4544. That's 380-208-4544. 380-208-4544.
The Fan Guest Hotline is sponsored by Ohio Heating and Bryant. Doing whatever it takes to keep you and your home comfortable. The Fan.
Drink recommendations, movie reviews, sports discussion, and whatever the hell Reeser does. This is Bishop and Friends.
Well, right now, Reese is going to attempt to push the proper button.
Thing or not a thing?
Sponsored by Billiards Plus. Find your next grill and everything you need for the master griller. Billiards Plus on Dublin Center Drive in Dublin.
There's a gold star for me. Just one. See if we can navigate us through the last hour of the program. But starting off, thing or not a thing, NBC News reported Thursday a Delta jet experienced engine problems on what was supposed to be a transatlantic flight and landed on an island in the middle of the ocean that led to a 31-hour delay. Flight 127 left Madrid Sunday, bound for New York. Then it had to divert after an indication of a mechanical issue with an engine. The Airbus A330 had 282 passengers and 13 crew members on board. Delta said the passengers and crew deplaned via the stairs and were accommodated overnight in area hotels and provided meals. They were taken off the island to Portugal and then arrived in New York on a new aircraft Monday. Thing or not a thing?
This is a major thing, Reese, because you're doing this on purpose because you know I am boarding a plane at 5:10 tomorrow morning.
Sure knew that.
To head down to Florida. So I don't know why you would do that. I have been trying to stick up for my fellow friend as much as I can because I feel like us friends on this program have to stick together. And I feel like you're just trying to attack my full-on vacation mode that's about to happen.
I wouldn't say I'm attacking it. I'm just providing experiences of other flyers recently.
I'm not real happy about this, Reese.
I think you'll be okay, Baker.
Yeah, you'll be fine.
I mean, I'm going to be okay, but still, I think it's unnecessary, Jacob. It just wasn't needed.
It makes me think of the show Manifest from a few years ago when, the plane disappeared for 5 years, but the people on the plane actually didn't disappear. They thought it was a normal flight, and they were presumed dead for 5 years. Sorry, I'm just freaking you out even more.
Craig on the YouTube is agreeing with me. He said this is Reeser's way of saying to Baker, have a great flight.
No, I would just tell you have a great flight. I just, again, think it's important as summer's a busy travel season to regale our audience with some stories of air travelers. For no reason whatsoever, but I thought that was interesting. And importantly enough, everybody was okay. Just very inconvenient.
Trying to kill my vacation vibe here.
I enjoy how they were given a place to stay.
Yeah.
They had meals provided for them.
It says they went to Portugal, so they went from Spain, then landed on the island, then had to go back to the continent and then go back across the ocean.
I mean, I'm not going to lie. If I end up tomorrow on some island somewhere, I don't think I'm going to be upset about it. But see, I'm going to spin this in a positive direction.
There you go.
I don't think that's what you were doing here, but I'm going, as a good friend, I am going to look at this as a positive.
Paint that turd gold, baby. Matt Jones of Kentucky Sports Radio reported that student ticket prices for UK basketball are going up over 70% this year. The prices are going from $200 to $345, while football prices have gone up from $190 to $145 per student ticket. Thing or not a thing?
So the athletes are getting paid and the other students have to pay for it, huh? This sucks, and I understand that these things go up over time, and as we try to improve experiences at games, I wish there was a way that we could make the student tickets like a flat price, and it's always going to be that, and it's cheap. Maybe one year they go from 10 to 15, but this huge jump, and I don't know what that is over the course of the season and whatnot, but I just think it sucks. Like, again, these are trickle-down things of everything that's going on where we just think about this at the top and we don't see what's going to happen at the bottom all the time. Hopefully these kids can still go, because I will say this, and I know you are Mr. UNC and there, Jacob Reimer, but I don't know. I'm sure Duke is great, too. North Carolina's great. Fall Allen Fieldhouse, I'm sure, is awesome, and I can't wait to get out there and attend a game someday. I've been to a game at Rupp Arena, a Kentucky basketball game, and it was just some random, didn't mean anything Vanderbilt game. It's the most fun I've ever had at a college basketball game. And if you are a college basketball fan or just a fan of sports, I feel like everybody needs to get down and check out a game in Lexington and at Rupp, because it is awesome. And just like we talk about the shoe, it's not going to be here forever, right? Like, eventually things are going to happen. Buildings get old and they will have to replace that. But it is an awesome venue to watch a college basketball game.
Yeah, Big Blue Nation, they show up for everything. And I feel like it's a thing for me. And I feel like no matter the dollar amount, that Big Blue Nation will show up and they're going to be loud. Like, the SEC is going to be really good this year. I know North Carolina is going to Rupp Arena this year, so that's going to be a packed crowd. But yeah, I'm with you, Baker. I still wish that student tickets would come down a little bit. Like, I know it's not as much as like at Rupp Arena with the passion and the fan base that they have, but just look at the Shop, for example. Like, if we could get more students in there at a reasonable price and make Ohio State basketball games loud. Now, the production on the court has to be worth it, but that could also help is bringing in more students and making it even louder. Fill the Shot.
We had talked earlier in the week about Scott Frost, who is now back at Central Florida, and his comments he made about his alma mater and coaching at Nebraska, saying that he would tell people not to take the wrong job. And for me, it was a moment of, look in the mirror, buddy. There was the problem with Scott Frost at Nebraska. It wasn't, in fact, Nebraska or the athletic director or the president or the chaos, or I guess calamity that was the internal turmoil, I guess I should say, with Nebraska and its athletic department. Well, this was Matt Schick of ESPN. He joined Sirius XM's Big Ten Radio. He responded to Scott Frost.
So Scott Frost says, don't take the wrong job. In a lot of ways, he's right. It was the wrong job because he wasn't cut out for it. He couldn't handle the fishbowl. He didn't conduct himself in the right way. He wasn't built for that job. So it was the wrong job. He needs to be at a place like Orlando, where you're always second fiddle to Mickey Mouse.
Thing or not a thing?
So I feel like when this first came out, I kind of had Scott Frost back a little bit. And I guess we'll see like what he does as he goes back to UCF. Maybe I'm wrong, and I know Nebraska football was, when Scott Frost was playing there, it was on the national scene, and it was a big-time program. But I feel like it's fallen off. I don't know how big the fishbowl is at Nebraska anymore. I guess because we're not out there all the time, we don't see it. But I can't believe that's nearly what it is at Ohio State or Alabama or Georgia. or Michigan or Oregon. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong on that. Texas, throw them in there as well. But maybe he wasn't cut out for it, but I just don't know who can succeed. And I guess we're going to see with Matt Rule here and Dylan Raiola if they can do anything in the Big Ten and maybe get to a college football playoff in the next couple of years. But it's interesting hearing Schick say that, and it seems like there are a lot of people that have lost their belief in Scott Frost. And when he went to Nebraska, the belief in Scott Frost was about as high as any coach in college football. So I guess I'm going to have to see what Scott Frost does here at UCF, and maybe we'll have to see like if he can parlay UCF into another big job again and see if that is the case with he just can't do it where the magnifying glass is on him.
Yeah, as a coach, you should want to continue to progress and continue to grow and get to a big time powerhouse program like Nebraska at least used to be. And I feel like Scott Frost was a little unthankful about that opportunity. You've got to the peak, you've got to the highest level, and yeah, hopefully something can come back around for him, but we'll see.
I mean, Nebraska gave Scott Frost the opportunity to coach at his alma mater, and he completely fumbled the bag. Like everything at Nebraska, to me, that Scott Frost couldn't do was because Scott Frost was not built for that job. And there's been a lot of reporting and there's been a lot of scuttlebutt out of Lincoln about the tenure of Scott Frost, and it was not great, and that showed itself on the field. A team with very high expectations going into 2025, the Clemson Tigers. They will take center stage as we do our 20 most interesting college football programs on the Tigers coming up next. It's Bishop and Friends on the Fan.
T-Bone and Tybus are everything you want in a delicious breakfast. Lots of empty calories, no nutritional value.
Weekday mornings from 6 to 9.
The Fan.
All the folks at Buckeye, night or day.
My AC stopped working. Your competition says it's fried. When I saw their cost to replace it, I could have just died.
We can give a second opinion, give you options and advice. We'll strive to earn your trust and make you a client for life.
Get a free second opinion. Replace or repair.
Call 614-683-9911. Call the folks at Buckeye, night or day.
At Meijer, we're working hard to make summertime shopping a good deal better with great deals like $1.99 a pound bulk large sweet cherries, $2.99 a pound fresh from Meijer boneless skinless chicken thigh family packs. Buy 2, get 1 free 12 packs of Coca-Cola, Pepsi, 7-Up or Dr. Pepper products, plus deposit where applicable. And 3 for $6 on Meijer shredded chunk or sliced cheese. Summer is always a good deal fresher at Meijer. Exclusions apply. See all deals in the Meijer app.
Do you have 3 ex-wives and your current trophy wife wants a life insurance policy 3 times the size of the policies you had to purchase for your previous mistakes? If so, you need to call Big Lou at Term Provider, 800-777-1225. Big Lou is intimately familiar with your problems, and if you're 50 or 60 years old and in reasonably good health, a $1 million policy should only cost about $100 to $200 per month. Big Lou may have a solution for your previous policies as well. You may even save enough money to lighten the load on your new $1 million policy. Remember, call Big Lou. He's like you, except he's only on number 2. Call Term Provider at 800-777-1225. That's 800-777-1225. For $1 million in term life insurance that you can live with. Call Big Lou at 800-777-1225. 800-777-1225.
Hey there, friends. Bo Bishop here. Hear that? That's the sound of freedom. This July, declare your independence on the open road during RCD RV's Declare Your Independence sale, running July 5th through the 19th, offering all-American savings on all in-stock motorhomes, fifth wheels, and travel trailers. Wave goodbye to ordinary vacations and say hello to adventure. Stop by any of our locations, Delaware, Heath, and Pataskala, or shop online anytime at rcdrv.com. Celebrate the red, white, and blue with unbeatable savings at RCD RV. RCD RV. Freedom starts on the open road.
Lanny went to college and racked up huge debt.
A little bit over $100,000.
For a degree he couldn't use, now what?
I had a friend that went to my computer career.
They even helped him get hired immediately after graduation.
One of the things I love about IT is that you can work from anywhere you want.
You could become an IT pro in just months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI with zero experience at mycomputercareer.edu. My Computer Career, an elite CompTIA certification partner.
It worked for me, and I know it can work for you.
This is one student's experience. Individual results vary.
Hey friends, Beamer here. You tired of being tired, sick of feeling sluggish, bored with being bloated? Maybe if you're fed up with that feeling of fogginess, whatever your reason, your solution is only a click away. Reboot your life and enhance your summer at awaken180weightloss.com.
No matter where you are, Coughlin is there, in store or online. CoughlinCars.com. 13 new car brands, over 1,000 pre-owned vehicles, 16 convenient locations for sales, service, and parts, plus 4 state-of-the-art collision centers. CoughlinCars.com. Shop locally owned, CoughlinCars.com. Coughlin has the car for you.
Sometimes I hear a sparkling sound.
Like when we say, all you have to do is point?
There it is.
That's the sound of magic happening.
Magic like we can come the day you call us? Wow.
Call 1-800-GOT-JUNK or visit 1-800-GOT-JUNK.com.
Adam Schefter here for Vivid Seats, your ultimate destination for all your sports and concert needs this summer. With a game-changing rewards program and an unbeatable selection of tickets, they make it easy for every fan to watch their favorite teams and players in action. Catch every home run and thrilling comeback in person from your favorite seat. Plus, every ticket is backed by a 100% buyer guarantee, giving you peace of mind with every purchase. Visit VividSeats.com or download the app today. Vivid Seats, the official ticketing partner of ESPN.
Okay, raise your hand if you want to make your life a little bit easier. Great. Now raise your other hand if you like to be comfortable. Perfect. Now that you have both hands raised, imagine putting on your shoes. And that, folks, right there is your answer to an easier, more comfortable life. Go hands-free with Skechers Slip-ins. This is footwear you don't need your hands to put on. They can be raised in the air, and you can just step it and go. Why don't you experience what people can't stop talking about? Life-changing Skechers Slip-ins. Get your Slip-ins at a Skechers store, Skechers.com, or wherever stylish footwear is sold.
Broadcasting from the Lindsay Honda Studios.
Honda makes the cars. Lindsay makes the difference. Visit lindsayhonda.com.
WBNS-FM, HD1 Columbus. The Fan. Sports Center.
Good morning. I'm Eric Reeser. The second leg in the Hell is Real Derby goes down Saturday in Ohio's Queen City. The Columbus Crew battle FC Cincinnati tomorrow night at 7:30. Both teams played to a 1-1 draw back in May. That match was in Columbus. FC Cincinnati's the top team in the table with 42 points. Columbus just 4 back with 38. In baseball, the All-Star Game's next Tuesday in Atlanta. The break begins on Monday. Cincinnati looks to go into that break closer to an NL wildcard berth. Redlegs are on a 2-game winning streak and will host the Rockies tonight. They blanked the Marlins last night, 6-0. You can hear Reds baseball on the Fan. We'll join tonight's game against Colorado following the Buckeye Show. As for the Guardians, Cleveland was rained out last night in Chicago. It was supposed to be game 1 of a 4-game set. They'll make it up today as part of a doubleheader starting at 3:10. And in the minors, the Clippers look to make it 2 straight, hosting Louisville at Huntington Park tonight at 7:05. Breaking sports news when it happens on the Fan, Ohio sports destination.
The friends are the guests and listeners. Reeser and Baker just work here.
Back to work. Back to work. Everybody. Work, 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 work.
You're listening to Bishop and Friends.
Yes, you are. Reeser, Baker, Reimer. One more hour this week. It's Getaway Day for Ryan Baker. So again, if you haven't congregated towards our studio, start lining up now. After this program, your kids can come in and touch the buttons and talk into the microphones and whatever else we'll do in the studio, because we're not going to be needing them. Certainly you won't for the next week.
I won't be thinking about them at all.
You shouldn't. I'm off on Monday as well, so you can either celebrate or, however, act accordingly. Bo will return to the program. Him and Tim May are going to be with you Monday, 9 to noon. Jacob Reimer pushing their buttons figuratively and literally. SMU will be the program of record for the 20 most interesting coming up Monday. Couldn't do SMU without having Bo here.
Absolutely, because those are his ponies. Can you imagine, though, Rhyme Time talking about SMU basketball on Monday? That'd be really pushing Bo's buttons, wouldn't it?
I would say so. I don't think. I'm just trying to remember the last time. And this is going to show, I think, my ignorance in ACC basketball because the Clemson Tigers, like when was the last time they were nationally relevant? But it doesn't matter because we're not doing college basketball. We're doing college football.
As college football draws near, Bishop and Friends present the 20 most interesting programs. Spoiler alert, Rutgers isn't one of them.
No, the Clemson Tigers are in the spotlight today. Dabo Swinney entering his 18th season at Clemson, 180-47 overall. Old Dabo's got 2 national championships and 7 ACC titles. Last year, the Tigers 10-4, in the regular season, 7-1 in ACC play. They won the ACC championship and then lost in the first round of the college football playoff against the Texas Longhorns. The key returner of the bunch for this 2025 Tigers roster is Cade Klubnik. He's one, if not the highest-ranked quarterback prospect that will have his name called in the 2026 NFL Draft. The Tigers also have a trio of wide receivers, and many, including Phil Steele, think they're the, if not the second best wide receiver room in the country behind the guys you've got in Columbus. So the Tigers return Antonio Williams, Bryant Wesco Jr., and TJ Moore. Defensively for Clemson, it's hearkening back to the days where they were one of, if not the favorite to win the national championship with a dominant defensive line. TJ Parker, their defensive end, defensive tackle Peter Woods. You got a pair of linebackers that are coming back. They return a secondary with a lot of production from 2025. And I think, Baker, on the offensive front, the Tigers have their entire starting line back.
Yeah, it sure looks like it this year for them. And not only that, though, from what I'm reading, they have like 10 offensive linemen that could all play and be just fine. So that's one of the nice things that injuries last year we saw created depth for Ohio State on the offensive line, and we got to see guys in different positions and how they could move around and they could make that work. Clemson's going to have that flexibility as well this year.
Don Munson's the longtime voice of the Clemson Tigers. He's going to join us at 11:30. I'm really interested to see from his perspective how Dabo Swinney went from I'm not touching the transfer portal, I'm not thinking about name, image, and likeness until they get on campus and produce, to we're going to figure things out from the transfer portal and filling needs on our roster, and from using name, image, and likeness and inducements to get recruits to campus. Have they had to even do that? Because the NCAA a couple months ago officially said, yeah, you can do that. It's fine. Did it happen before? Maybe not at Clemson, certainly at other colleges, but Dabo is always front and center with, we're not interested in doing that here at Clemson. Maybe there's a healthy marriage of both recruiting and developing and using the transfer portal and name, image, and likeness to build a college football power. It's a pretty navigable schedule for Clemson. They open the season August 30th, hosting LSU.
It's a big one. Lucky to have it at home, but that's a big one.
Boy, that'll be 7:30 on ABC. After that, their non-conference includes Troy and Furman. That Furman game will be before their November 29th matchup at South Carolina. So that'll be a big one. October 18th, they're taking on SMU, but they're hosting the Ponies there. So this feels like you can stack another 10-3 or 10-2, I should say, in the regular season for Clemson, or 10-1 rather. They could stack an 8-0 ACC schedule, ACC record, because they showed last year even they fell on their face against Georgia, and I don't expect that to be the case against LSU, not with this Clemson team. But they could take the momentum from beating LSU and roll through the regular season with the schedule I just laid out.
Some people like Georgia Tech this year. Haynes King is back as a quarterback there, so that's a game that's on the road, maybe. But as you mentioned, they get LSU at home. They get SMU at home. They do have to go to South Carolina. They also go to Louisville, but I feel like they'll be ready for that one because Louisville got them last year. I feel like that might be a little bit of a revenge game. I mean, I've been saying it for a while.
You've been on it.
I'm really behind this Clemson team this year. And I think there's a couple reasons, right? We talk about we've never seen a year like this in college football where a lot of the teams ranked at the top have uncertainty at quarterback. What Clemson does not have is uncertainty at quarterback with Cade Klubnik. 3,600 yards last year, only 6 interceptions, 36 touchdowns. And we mentioned he was their second leading rusher last year. And I didn't realize that. Over 600 yards for Klubnik on the ground. Also, as I look at it here, looks like 7 rushing touchdowns for Klubnik as well. So producing 43 touchdowns basically for the Tigers last year. And here's the other thing that there is they have got a proven head coach, right? Like we talk all the time about Penn State and James Franklin, and we don't have any faith in him. Dabo's done it, right? He's won the biggest, and maybe it's taken him a little bit here to adjust to the new era of college football, and maybe there's still adjusting to be done. But the one thing that he has done with this team is this is a team that's grown together. Not only is this team experienced, and they bring back 81% of their production, but these guys have played together for quite a few years, and we saw how valuable that was for Ohio State last year in that 2021 class, how many of those guys came back. Clemson is in the same boat with a team that knows each other and has played a lot of football together.
We talk about Cade Klubnik and his rushing ability. So he was second on the team. They lose their leading rusher from last season. Our lad says 4-star running back Gideon Davidson is expected to be the bell cow for this Clemson Tigers team. They bring in defensive end Will Help from Purdue. He had 5 sacks in 2024, but he's just there as a depth guy because 3, maybe 4 guys on their defensive front are going to hear their names called very early in the 2026 NFL draft.
And 2 of those are T.J. Parker and Peter Woods, and everybody you see has T.J. Parker as a top 5 pick in this next NFL draft. And, of course, these are way too early NFL mock drafts, but Peter Woods is a guy that's going to be in that first round as well. You throw Cade Klubnik in there because most have him going in the top 15 of the NFL draft. And you mentioned their receiving core. Their top 3 receivers from last season are all back this year.
Yeah, this is, I'll give a little bit away right now, the first team this week that I've said you better make the damn playoff in 2026. But we will go over more categories for the Clemson Tigers coming up next. It's Bishop and Friends on The Fan.
All the 10 TV people come over to our side of the building to take a deuce. That should tell you something about how we operate. The Fan.
Men, the summer is here. Longer days, warmer nights, and romance in the air. Intimate dinners, walks on the beach, dancing in the moonlight. But if you have erectile dysfunction, you know it can ruin romance, both for you and the one you love. This is Jeff for Tri-State Men's Health, and if you have ED, don't let another summer go by without getting treated, because intimacy is one of the greatest things in life, and fear of not being able to perform should not be something you have to deal with. At Tri-State Men's Health, we're ED experts. We've successfully treated tens of thousands of men. Our protocols work when others don't, and we have treatments that are effective in well over 90% of cases. You could even last up to an hour or more and perform like you haven't in years. So call us. Your initial appointment is only $99 and includes blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 800-900-9654 or go to tristatemenshealth.com.
At United Dairy Farmers, peach is our most popular ice cream. And once you taste it, you'll know why. Right now, get 2 48-ounce cartons of UDF peach ice cream for $10. It's only here for a short time. UDF peach ice cream, made for you.
Career changers, including veterans and active duty service members. Your transition starts here. Go from GI to IT in a matter of months. Become a certified cyber warrior with training at My Computer Career. Cybersecurity specialists are in high demand, offering IT pros great opportunities and a rewarding lifestyle while protecting our people, liberty, and treasured institutions from cyber threats. Deploy your career in IT today at mycomputercareer.edu/CWP, an elite CompTIA certification partner.
VA education benefits are available to those who qualify.
For over 78 years, our family's been part of your love stories. At Diamond Seller, we offer bigger diamonds, better prices, and timeless designs for every chapter of your life. From your first yes to your forever I do, trust the jeweler who knows diamonds best. Visit Diamond Seller today.
Joining us on this episode are real Spectrum customers, Monique and Greg. We hear your family is a big fan of Spectrum.
Family of 4, we have about 18 devices last time I counted.
2 teams require a lot of speed. Everything they do is online.
There's gaming, there's streaming. Spectrum is perfect for us. I mean, it just seamlessly connects all our devices with lightning speed.
Sounds like Spectrum is really committed to keeping you connected.
It's amazing.
At Kroger, you never compromise. You get high quality and low prices. Like you never compromise your meal with our spring salad mix that's guaranteed fresh. And you never compromise your budget with lower prices on over 1,000 items. Hand it to Kroger shoppers. You never compromise. Kroger. Fresh for everyone.
Right now, save big on Heritage Farm boneless chicken breasts. They're only $2.49 a pound with your card. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
We're sending Austin and Berm to Vegas for Big Ten Media Day, and they're sharing a double bed. Hear from Jeremiah Smith, Caleb Downs, Sonny Styles, and Ryan Day. It all comes your way Tuesday, July 22nd on YouTube and the 10 TV Plus app.
And now, Public Education Matters with Ohio Education Association President Scott Damaro.
I have taught many students over my 34-year career in public education, and I've had the honor of serving more than 100,000 public school educators as the president of the Ohio Education Association. As I retire from teaching and we welcome a new OEA president next week, I want to say thank you for this enormous privilege.
Public Education Matters, brought to you by the Ohio Education Association.
Summer is in full swing. If you think you're hot, well, so are your trees. You can help your trees by watering them, especially if they're newly planted. During the hot, dry summer months, your trees could use a water boost. Watering new trees a few times a week will help them survive while they're developing their root system, so don't forget about them. To find out more about watering trees or to find a certified arborist near you, go to treesforohio.org. That's trees, the number 4, ohio.org.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Happy Friday, everybody. We will see another summer-like afternoon as those temperatures get into the low 90s, but it will still be humid with mostly sunny skies and minimal chances of showers and thunderstorms. It'll be a lot more isolated today. Mostly clear skies tonight and lows in the 70s. And then for Saturday, we'll see temperatures getting into the low 90s. The humidity still building in and plenty of sunshine with a better chance of showers and storms the second half of the day. For The Fan, I'm meteorologist Meredith Garfalo with your 10 weather impact forecast.
Matty Ice has a large tattoo on his calf of LeBron eating a lion. I have nothing else to say. Rothman and Ice.
Weekdays from noon to 3.
The Fan. The final season of Yellowstone might just be Bo's dad live on YouTube. What's the difference anyway? This is Bishop and Friends.
We'll get the voice of the Clemson Tigers, Don Munson, on in about 10 minutes from now. Before that, we've got to hit the categories for the Tigers. Tiger Rag, the fight song for Clemson. A Death Valley, a place they play. So this invokes Dabo awkwardly running down that hill, which I am to this day surprised more people don't get injured.
Yeah. So, you would think
you're sprinting down that thing.
Many people so close to each other, running down.
Being a runner for as long as I have been, I've always thought that the declines are the worst spots to run. Mm-hmm. Where you would think, oh, you're just running downhill, how hard can it be? But because it feels easier, sometimes you can trick your brain, or your brain and your body don't sync up, and your legs just start flailing faster, and that's really bad on your knees.
I know this isn't one of our questions, Reese, but is Clemson a place that, like, there's certain places where I'm like, man, I would like to go see a college football game there. Is Clemson one of those places for you or not?
Yeah, I'd say it's a bucket list spot. Death Valley. I mean, you get in the Battle of Death Valley when LSU travels to Clemson, like to see that game 7:30 in August. Absolutely. We'll start with NIL portal grade.
So for me, I've got this as a D, and the only reason it's not an F, because they had 9 guys leave, which is good. You know, roster retention. That's good for Clemson, but they only brought 3 guys in. So the only reason this isn't an F for me is the 3 guys they brought in are really good football players. Like you mentioned, Will Held of Purdue. He's going to be one of the starters on that defensive line opposite T.J. Parker at the end spot. They brought in a really good linebacker and another quality wide receiver as well. The linebacker, I believe, came over from Alabama. So they only brought in 3 guys, but they were 3 really quality football players. So It's going to be a D. It's not great, but because of who they brought, it's not an F.
Yeah, I'm right there with you, Baker. If it were on retention, it'd probably be an A or a B plus. Because that's what you want to do. You want to make sure your guys are staying and not just hitting the portal and running. And Dabo's bringing his guys back. It's always important to have a lot of experience. I mean, look at Ohio State last year. They had a lot of experience, and that's what helped lead them to a national championship. So if it were on retention, it would be an A- or maybe even more. But portal grade was not so good.
Yeah, I do wonder, and I maybe will ask Don about this. I wonder how much he would be willing to give in terms of these salaries or these numbers you see about teams in college football, the $40, $35 million rosters. So much of that, though, is spent on retention. How much money is spent to keep Cade Klubnik happy? How much is spent to keep Peter Woods Jr. happy? You know, you mentioned the linebacker out of Alabama, Jeremiah Alexander, Will Height. Those will factor to be big defensive pieces for this Tigers team. So, because they've kept the roster, I'm going to give them a C, because they've done a little bit of portaling, but the fact they've kept everybody together from going elsewhere, I think, is a tip of the cap to what Dabo's done. Would Buddy Garrity want to run their collective grade?
So I don't think this is great. I think this is another D for me. And I don't know, like Clemson has been slow, right, getting into the NIL portion of this. And again, we don't know like how much they paid for roster retention this year to keep their guys. But it doesn't seem like they're changing and they're getting into it, but it seems like they're behind the times a little bit. I also don't know how much money and how many Clemson boosters there are out there. So I think Buddy Garrity would go a lot of other places before he goes Clemson.
Yeah, and I don't think he'd want to hang out with Dabo Swinney. So I
don't know if that would mesh.
Yeah, I would not grade that well.
Campus social life grade for Clemson.
So I don't know a lot about Clemson. I know like there's a couple national parks right there, and they obviously are really close to a lake. They're right on a lake, so I'm guessing that would be pretty fun. I do know and have heard like their sororities and fraternities are very different. Like they have no Greek life there for their fraternities and their sororities and whatnot. So it is a little different with that. I still think, though, with the national parks and the lake right there, I'm guessing you could have a lot of fun on that lake with all of the college kids out there. So I'm going to give it a B-.
Yeah, lots of fishing, lots of boating. I'm a big traditions guy, and
they do have a lot of cool traditions.
Yeah, and just like you mentioned, running down the hill. Well, the lead up to that, they are on a bus driving to the stadium to then get off the bus and go down the stadium. And people go back and forth on it. I like it. I think it's unique, and I think it's pretty cool.
I'm going to give it a B. I think it's at the beak. If you look at South Carolina, that's where Clemson's located, kind of the beak of the state.
Yep, Georgia's close. Tennessee's close.
I do think that it's an older city. It's a smaller city. It's a quaint college town. But seeing that atmosphere at Death Valley for so long is what props it back up to where every Saturday you are thinking about Clemson football. And I think that would be such an incredible place to go and do college. I don't know if you're either doing or going. I don't think you can necessarily do both if you're at a place like Clemson. At least I couldn't. I would be there. School, yeah, I don't know if I'm playing that. Uniforms grade for the Clemson Tigers.
So it's another one of those that's pretty recognizable and pretty classic, but it's also pretty plain, right? Usually just orange and white with the tiger paw on there. I will say when they incorporate purple in the jersey, like they wear the purple jersey or the purple pants or, however they incorporate purple in, I think that gives it a different look and it makes it a little better. But I'm going to go B- on the uniform here. It's not terrible, but it's not great.
Yeah, I'm a B as well. It's recognizable. It's Clemson. You know what you're going to be getting out of them when you see the orange helmet and the paw print on the side and that orange jerseys. I don't hate them. But like we just did North Carolina yesterday. I don't think it's anything comparable to that.
They're great. I think they're A. The purple, all purple, but the all orange, you know what that is. That tiger paw on the helmet, the whole thing works. At least I think it does. Player you would want to have in the scarlet and gray.
This might be, of 20 most interesting so far, the most difficult question for me, because they have 3 dudes that I would want, and they're all in positions where I think that Ohio State might be a little unproven. I think the talent's there, but the unproven, and I think the easy answer is Cade Klubnik, but I'm going TJ Parker. And the reason is this is a guy that had 11 sacks last year for Clemson at the defensive end position. It's been a while since Ohio State has had a guy at that defensive end position with double-digit sacks. And I know we had JTT and Jack here, and they were good, but they weren't that Bosa level good, right? They weren't that Chase Young level good. TJ Parker has the chance and the ability to do that. Now, I think Ohio State's defensive ends this year are going to be pretty good, but even with that, they're not this guy. They're not top 5 pick in the NFL draft. So because that's been a position that Ohio State hasn't gotten the dude since Chase Young, I'm going to go TJ Parker.
I'm going to move inside of the defensive line and give me Peter Woods.
I think that's that
defensive
you
tackle.
Can't go wrong with that either.
Sorry, I jumped all over you, Jacob.
Okay. It's okay. I'll go the easy answer and take Cade Klubnik. I don't know much else about the...
I mean, he's such a... I was thinking about Klubnik as well. Because think about... I mean, you talked about his athletic ability, being able to score with his legs, move around the pocket. Looking at Jeremiah Smith down the field.
Yeah.
And I mean, come on.
He's experienced. You know what you're getting. Like you said,
played in every game.
He's athletic. Yeah.
And listen, I believe Julian Sayin and Lincoln Kienholz both.
And they can become that.
I think they both could be really good, maybe great starting quarterbacks for Ohio State. I know this guy could. Look what Will Howard came in and did last year for this Buckeye team. And this is no knock on Will Howard. And I don't know if Cade Klubnik has the leadership abilities and capabilities that Will Howard did. But I think Cade Klubnik is a better quarterback than Will Howard. Like, no offense to Will, he is a 6th-round draft pick in the NFL. Cade Klubnik right now, and we don't know if this is going to be the case, but right now, he is in most mock drafts a top 10 or 15 pick in this upcoming NFL draft. And we saw how big that experience meant for Ohio State at the quarterback position. So you definitely couldn't go wrong with Cade Klubnik here.
All-time biggest man on campus grade, or all-time biggest man on campus.
So I feel like it is and probably should be Deshaun Watson, but I'm going to go with CJ Spiller because I don't think we remember, and he didn't work out in the NFL, but he was dynamic at Clemson. He could do everything. Return kicks, receive out of the backfield, great rusher. He's one of the guys that has his number retired there. I feel like CJ Spiller, when he shows back up in Clemson, South Carolina, I don't think he pays for a thing.
I think it's Trevor Lawrence. Won a national championship as a freshman. You see that long, luscious hair walking around campus. I feel like it'll turn some heads for sure.
I mean, you talk about biggest men on campus. Was there anybody bigger? Has there been anybody bigger on the campus of Clemson, South Carolina than William the Refrigerator Perry?
It's a great one.
In terms of big,
right?
He's it. Can this team, I think we can all safely say this team can win it all. We don't have to go too further into what's the ceiling of the 2025 Clemson Tigers.
I was going to say, you don't even have to ask me my answer on this one.
Yeah,
everybody knows.
You've put some, how should I say, soft-earned dollars on the Tigers to win the national championship in 2025. We will get the longtime voice of Clemson football coming up in 2 minutes. Don Munson will join the program. It's Bishop and Friends on The Fan.
Bobby Carpenter here for Germain Toyota of Columbus. Summer is the perfect time to gear up in a new truck from Germain Toyota of Columbus. Right now, drive home the 2025 Toyota Tundra with 1.99 APR for 72 months, or take command of the 2024 Toyota Tacoma, also just 1.99 APR for 72 months. Get power, performance, and unbeatable savings, all at Germain Toyota, located at 5711 Scarborough Boulevard on the corner of I-70 and Bryce Road. Shop online anytime at germaintoyota.net.
You had a solid retirement dream. Sell your home in a few years, bank the equity, downsize, and travel. But with an unpredictable economy and the future feeling uncertain, you're wondering if that equity will still be there when you're ready. What if you could bank that equity right now? With Truehold, you can sell your home for its current value so you can access your equity today. You can bank the cash now and stay in the home you love with an easy standard lease. Truehold even covers property taxes, insurance, and repairs. And since Truehold hands over your equity in cash now, it's yours to do whatever you'd like. Don't let a shifting economy put your hard-earned equity at risk. Visit Truehold.com and receive their competitive offer on your home in just 48 hours, based on its current value, not what's coming. Call 1-855-300-9993 or visit Truehold.com. The smarter, faster way to cash out on your home's value without moving. That's Truehold.com.
At Delta Dental of Ohio, we understand oral and vision health is connected to overall well-being. With Delta Dental and Delta Vision, you get affordable, comprehensive coverage from a name you know and trust. Our plans are designed to keep your teeth strong and vision clear, so you can confidently smile at life. 2 great plans, 1 name you can trust. Learn more at deltadentaloh.com.
Bishop and Friends is sponsored by Diamond Seller, your true jeweler for over 75 years. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Distilled sports discussion served in light beer quantities. You're listening to Bishop and Friends.
When you talk Clemson football, there's really few else you should reach out to than the great longtime voice of the Tigers. Don Munson joins the program courtesy of the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems fan guest hotline. Don, in the last year or so, we've kind of seen college football and college athletics spiral out of control. But through it all, really, Dabo Swinney's been one of kind of the steady standards in the sport. First, thank you so much for giving us the time today. But secondly, how have you seen from your vantage point Dabo kind of navigate this football program into what is a name, image, and likeness and transfer portal heavy era?
Well, first of all, appreciate you having me on, and I hope Paul Keels is listening. He just texted me a little bit ago, so Paul is listening. He's certainly one of the legends in our business. But I would tell you that it's funny because people have kind of come 180 on William Christopher Swinney here at Clemson, because it wasn't that long ago he was getting all kinds of abuse from national media in particular about the way that he was handling NIL and, the portal and all that. And all of a sudden they're thinking, you see all these articles this summer, maybe he's doing it the right way. And you think? I mean, you think? And so it's been a lot of fun to sit back and watch. We'll see what happens this year with Clemson, but they certainly look like that they got a team to be reckoned with, that's for sure.
Don, we know from watching Ohio State last year just how much roster retention meant to the Buckeyes as they won the national championship. And Clemson has done such a great job of that with retaining that roster. This team is super talented, but also they're a team that's played a lot of football together, and that's something that can't be overlooked for this Clemson team this year, can it?
Oh, absolutely not. There's no team inside the Atlantic Coast Conference that has more returning starts on the roster than Clemson. And I think that's huge. Clemson just doesn't, for whatever reason, Clemson just doesn't lose kids that want to transfer out and go someplace else. Now, are there? Yes. There are absolutely those that do and transfer out, but they're just not that many. And there really has not been, other than maybe Andrew Makuba, who went to Texas at defensive back. Maybe Makuba would be the one I would say, okay, that was a guy they lost in the portal that hurt them and maybe could have helped them in some way, shape, or form last year. But it's been a lot of fun to watch the stability of this program and what is going to happen hopefully this year and then continue to happen, because none of us really know what's going to be happening.
The great Don Munson, our guest. He's the longtime voice of the Clemson Tigers. And you talk about Cade Klubnik and all of the knowns that are with this Clemson offense. Gideon Davidson comes to Clemson as a 4-star running back out of high school. How much do you expect early, looking at a game week 1 against LSU, do they expect to be giving him kind of the bell cow share of carries?
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to watch. I don't think that was determined even coming through the spring, to be perfectly honest with you. So that means that August camp becomes really big for Gideon. So, basically he and Adam Randall, who we saw a little bit at running back, obviously in the Texas game in the playoff game. This is a kid that's only had 4 carries though, but there's a lot of expectation about what Adam can do. He played running back in high school, so he knows what to do back there. But high school is a totally different beast from competing against LSU in an opener. Thank goodness it'll be at home. So it'll be interesting to see them beyond that. Obviously, we got, Jay Haynes is coming off of the knee injury, so I don't know that I don't expect him to be anywhere close to 100% by the time that game 1 rolls around. Maybe by the time that game 6, 7, or 8 rolls in, then that may be a possibility from that aspect. But it'll be interesting to see. Gideon's got a big August coming his way, and I think he knows that. The staff knows that. I'll have more to tell you really once we get about a week away from that LSU game.
Last season, the tough opener, the loss to Georgia, and Cade Klubnik didn't particularly play well in that game, but he went on to have a season that honestly was a Heisman-type like season with 3,600 yards, 36 touchdowns, just 6 interceptions. And I didn't realize he was the second leading rusher on the Clemson team last year with over 600 yards rushing. This is a kid that was the #1 quarterback coming out of high school. I feel like people have kind of slept on him a little bit. What have you seen in his game over the past couple of years, how he has progressed as a quarterback?
Well, I think that one is that he doesn't let pressure affect him near as much as it did early on. I mean, you could see that even going back to that Georgia game. Just compare the Georgia game to much later in the season to the Texas game, the first game to the last game of the season, where pressure was really affecting him early on. But by the time that we finished up the year at Texas, it wasn't that way. And actually, Clemson had the ball with a chance to tie it, or if they went for 2, maybe even take a lead late in that contest. It didn't work out, obviously, for the Tigers in Austin. But I think that's the biggest difference. I think the game, you always hear this term, the game is slowed down, and I think that's definitely the case for Cade.
Yeah, Don, you think back to that that college football playoff game against the Texas Longhorns. So much can be learned from that week 1 loss to Georgia coming into this season. What are the expectations like amongst the fan base for this team?
Well, fans are going to fan. I mean, I'm not telling people in Columbus anything you don't know, all right? Fans are going to fan. That's why they're called fanatics. So, the expectations, I think, are through the roof. I think a lot of our fan base is expecting Clemson to be preseason #1 in a lot of people's polls. All right, so let's just get that out of the way. I think that's the expectation. I think that, a lot of them are expecting this to be a team that makes the playoffs, that works their way deep into a playoffs. I was listening to some local radio, matter of fact, yesterday, and, the question came up, all right, it was funny. And this is the way we are as humans. The question was not, what will the coming year, a success for the coming year be for Clemson, but rather it was posed, what will be a disappointment for the coming season for Clemson? And that's, you always want to look at it negatively, not positively. So most of our fan base are expecting us to at least make it to the Final Four, if not make it to the national championship game and win it all. But that's just fans. That's fans being fans. But the one thing that I've learned from Dabo Sweeney is that week's game that's playing is the biggest game of the year. Lose it, you're going to find out just how big it was. And I don't care who it's to. You could lose to Marshall. You could lose to Furman. You could lose to LSU. You could lose to South Carolina. If you don't think it's the biggest game of the year, you just lose it. You'll find out how big it is.
Don, the Clemson defense this year obviously going to be led up front by T.J. Parker and Peter Woods, very strong up front on that defensive line. Where would you rank this defensive grouping with some of the great Clemson defenses we've seen of the past 10 or 15 years, and what do you expect to see from the defense this season?
I think this can be a good defense. Obviously now we're under the first year of Tom Allen, so we get a new defensive coordinator. So that always has its tricks about it to begin with. When you're bringing in, a new voice does things a new way. But I think it's been a great infusion of energy for the defensive side of the ball. I'm not gonna, but there's always a little bit of chinks in the armor sometimes in year number one of a defensive coordinator. So I think that's one thing. But this should be a really good defensive club. Can it be as good as the 18 team, for instance? Maybe. And it's really interesting to note because right now 3 of the 4 starters on that defensive line for Clemson in 2018 when they won the national championship, 3 of those 4 are on campus right now working out, getting ready for NFL camps. Dexter Lawrence is in town. Austin Bryant is in town. Cleveland Farrell is in town. Christian Wilkins is not there. He's nursing a foot injury right now, so he's taking care of things. But it's pretty interesting, and this is a common theme and a common occurrence for Clemson football here in the summer. Coach Sweeney actually has built an NFL – the guys that play in the NFL has built them their own locker room within the facility where they can come in, work out in the facility, bring their own trainers in if they want to. Most of them rent a house that's somewhere here on one of the lakes that's in the area, and they're usually here for about 3 weeks before they go off to camp, and that will be next week. I think camp's open on the 22nd, so that'll be next week. But it's been a lot of fun, to visit like with Dexter Lawrence. Dexter Lawrence probably is the best defensive tackle in the National Football League, and here he is at little old Clemson still working out and still comes back to the home base. That's part of the fun of it.
Don, it's incredible the names you just ripped off of actual all-pro NFL caliber guys working out at Clemson for the summer. It's an incredible testament to, I think, the program that Dabo Sweeney's built. He's a character, but he's an authentic character. And I think that's what's given him the success, part of one of the things that's given him success with this. ACC Media Days, Tuesday, July 22nd. It'll be in Charlotte. What do you expect from the conference on the field this season?
Well, obviously everybody's going to pick Clemson to be their pick to win the conference championship. I don't think there's any doubt about that. So I think the biggest question is who's going to be the number 2? Who's the number 2 team in the league? And it's going to be interesting to see who people select. Is it are they going to go with Florida State? But has Mike Norvell at Florida State done enough to offset the disaster that happened last year in Tallahassee? Could it be an upstart like Brett Key at Georgia Tech? Do they have enough in the tank? Maybe it's a Pittsburgh. Pitt, I think, is maybe the most undersold team coming into this season inside of the league. Miami doesn't play outside the state of Florida. If you look at their schedule, I think it's their first 9 games. They do not play outside the state of Florida. Imagine if I were saying that about Ohio State. Hey, Buckeyes, you get to play your first 9 games inside the boundaries of Ohio. How big of an advantage is that? It's huge. It's a huge advantage. So I think Miami's got to be thrown in there. So it'll be interesting to see. Bill Belichick obviously comes in the league at North Carolina. Can he pull off a miracle there in Chapel Hill? So there are a lot of storylines that are out there. It'll be interesting to see how it plays out. Yeah,
I was just looking at that, Don. Miami goes to SMU in November. It's the first time. Yeah. That's incredible.
It is incredible. It's just not. Clemson, if you told Clemson that, hey, you're going to be in the boundaries of the state of South Carolina for all of September and October, I think Dabo Sweeney would take that.
Yeah, I can understand if Mario Cristobal's thrilled about that. Don Munson, our guest, the longtime play-by-play voice of the Clemson Tigers. Don, thanks so much for giving us the time today. Enjoy the remainder of the summer. We'll look forward to hearing your call of Tiger football this upcoming season, bud. Thanks so much.
I appreciate you having me on. Let me spread a little gospel to the Clemson Tigers there in Buckeye territory. Although we have a lot of Buckeyes right now that are here in the state of South Carolina on our beaches. So
it's a very popular spot in the summer.
Oh, my gosh. Let me tell you, I can go to the Myrtle Beach, Hilton Head area right now. and I'll see Ohio State gear now, national champ, whatever.
Oh, yeah.
It'll be all over the place. I mean, it'll be flying proud as it should.
All right, Don, enjoy the weekend, bud. And he joins us courtesy of the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems fan guest hotline. We'll do 3 things on a Friday. Coming up next, it's Bishop and Friends on the Fan.
Winners of the prestigious Platinum Microphone Award every year, given to the best radio station in the world. No need to look it up. It's real. The Fan.
When you speed, you have less time to react. Follow the speed limit to keep other road users safe. Speeding catches up with you. Paid for by NHTSA.
This wasn't how Patrick pictured himself in retirement. Instead of playing golf every day, he could barely walk because of his severe knee pain.
It hampered everything because it hurt to walk around the golf course. It hurt to swing, just pretty much hurt doing anything.
But the groundbreaking regenerative treatments at QC Kinetics changed everything for Patrick. QC Kinetics uses your body's own healing properties to help repair and restore damaged tissue in your knees, hips, back, and shoulders. No surgery, no drugs, no downtime.
The turnaround's been amazing from where I was to where I am now. I'm gone from a 15 handicap down to a 7 handicap. That's because my knees allow me to play golf like I haven't been able to play probably in 15 years.
Don't let joint pain keep you from doing what you love. Call QC Kinetics today for your complimentary consultation.
Call QC Kinetics, 380-208-4544. That's 380-208-4544. 380-208-4544.
The big one is back. The Good Guys 27th Summit Racing Nationals presented by PPG. All this weekend at the Ohio Expo Center in Columbus. Over 6,000 of the nation's baddest hot rods, muscle cars, and trick trucks. Don't miss Good Guys autocross racing action. A tire-smoking burnout competition. A pro street takeover. Earth-shaking Nitro Thunderfest. Meet the top builders in the industry and more. All this weekend at the Ohio Expo Center. Details at good-guys.com.
Hi, I'm Rick Germain, and at Toyota West, we're having our biggest pre-owned sales event of the year. With over 600 new and pre-owned vehicles, Toyota West at I-270 and Georgesville Road has the car you're searching for. And during our Go Forth sales event, every pre-owned vehicle is discounted and comes with a 72-hour exchange policy plus a 3-month warranty. At Toyota West, you don't have to choose between a great experience and a great price. We deliver both. Come see us at the Germain Auto Mall on Georgesville Road or get started today at ToyotaWest.com.
Did you know even the smallest increase in mortgage rates can cost you thousands of dollars over the life of your loan? Hi, I'm Mark Stefanski, Chairman and CEO of Third Federal. It's true, even a 0.25% change in rate can cost you thousands of dollars over the life of your mortgage. But with Third Federal's new Early Rate Lock, you don't have to take chances. Early Rate Lock is the only pre-approval that locks in your rate at pre-approval, even before you find a house. Plus, we're so confident that our rates are the lowest, if you find a lower rate, we'll beat it or give you $1,000. And for a limited time, get pre-approved with Third Federal and we'll pay all of your closing costs. So don't wait. Call Third Federal today.
Right now at Third Federal, even before you find a home, lock in 6.44% APR 6.47% on a 30-year fixed-rate purchase mortgage. Visit thirdfederal.com or call 1-800-3rd-FED today. APR reflects 15% down for $350,000 loan amount. Rate requires automatic payment program and is subject to change. Restrictions apply. Zero closing costs on low-cost loans only. See conditions for lowest rate guarantee at thirdfederal.com. Equal housing lender.
This promo is for anyone who likes baseball or America or Terry Francona's scooter. The Reds are on the Fan. Catch all 162 games here on the Fan and 1460 ESPN Columbus and the Fan's HD2. Your home for Reds baseball, the Fan.
Hey, it's Anthony. I actually enjoy the offseason. Gives me a chance to be really active, travel, be on the move. But when my back started giving me pain, I wasn't going to just deal with it this time. I went to the Good Feet store. Their personally fit arch supports got my feet into their ideal alignment, and I could already feel the difference in my back immediately. And they educated me. I had no clue we actually have several arches under our feet, and those cushy over-the-counter insoles were not going to do the trick. So many people suffering with pain can benefit from their system. People with pain in their feet, ankles, lower legs, knees, hips, and more. I've been wearing my personally fit arch supports for a while now, and they've given me the motivation and confidence to be as active as I want to be. The Good Feet store thrives on being solution-oriented. Go in. The fitting is free. They want you to try them in the store and feel them for yourself. So get back to living the life you love with the Good Feet store. They're on Stringtown Road in Grove City and on Polaris Parkway. Or check them out at goodfeet.com.
The Fan Guest Hotline is sponsored by Ohio Heating and Bryant. Doing whatever it takes to keep you and your home comfortable. The Fan.
Our top men are working on everything except this show. This is Bishop and Friends.
Our thanks to Don Munson, the great radio voice of the Clemson Tigers, for joining us there in that last segment. Doug Maurice came on at 10:30. If you missed anything from today's show, those interviews are available wherever it is you do your podcasting. Also available on YouTube. Today's fan poll, which you can find at 971 The Fan on X or at 971thefan.com, asks, do you consider Ohio State and Penn State to be rivals in college football? We got just north of 320 votes on Twitter. 52% of respondents to this say yes. 48 say no. Percentage of respondents. So no, I still don't. Penn State, first off, says they're unrivaled. But I think Ohio State's got a rival. And it's the game.
Yeah, I'm a no guy on this because, like we said, a rivalry means both schools want to play it at all costs.
It's like
right? Browns
and Steelers.
And Penn State is punted. They've said, "No, we're good. We don't need to do this every year."
The Steelers look at the Browns like a windshield looks at a bug. Just you're beneath us. For Ohio State and Michigan, that's two there's equal parties, equal hate. Ohio State, Penn State, you just don't feel it from the Nittany Lion contingent.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3 things.
Sponsored by Buckeye Lake Marina, Central Ohio's largest selection of new and pre-owned boats. Find your next dream boat at BuckeyeLakeMarina.com.
It's been wonderful hosting this show with you this week. I'm very excited for you to be taking the next week off in Florida. I will also be off Monday because I am actually going to celebrate my 35th birthday, which happened earlier this week in Athens, Ohio.
There you go.
So if you don't hear from me next week, it's probably because I was arrested.
Back
or
to your
thrown
roots.
into the Hocking River.
Well, don't be trying to fight NHL players. That's how you get.
I'm not going to be. I'm not going to be on the
right?
golf course. And I think in that situation, wouldn't you just let him play through?
I would have just went around him. I would have played
Skip
through
that hole.
Well, or I would have just went up there and teed off and hit my ball and said, "See you later." But that's just me. I'm different. My first thing, Ellie De La Cruz last night got his 100th hit on the season. He joins Barry Larkin as the only Cincinnati Reds shortstop to ever have 100 hits before the All-Star game. I've been a little critical of Ellie, but I think the one thing that's super exciting as a Reds fan, and we kind of forget that this kid is just 23 years old, but he has made improvements now in his third year, each and every year. He's cut down on his swing a little bit this year and shortened it up. He's batting .280 this year, 18 home runs, 63 RBI. He'll be getting those home run and RBI records here, his career records, pretty soon. It's exciting as a Reds fan, even though I know eventually one day he's going to look great in Dodger blue, to see the improvements this guy has taken.
So I just saw this scrolling through Twitter. Callaway has released a limited edition Happy Gilmore hockey stick putters.
Let's go.
And tube sock club covers. The putter is priced at $499.99.
Let's go.
I think that is incredible with the release of Happy Gilmore 2 coming out, that we finally have something like that we can use on the golf course if you want to spend that amount of money.
Yeah, that'll be July 25th. That thing will be coming to Netflix. Second thing out of me, some baseball. We forgot to do it earlier in the program just because we're sometimes bad at these sorts of things. But I didn't know that the CBA expires in 2026, in December of that year. So you've got half the baseball season of this year, and then you've got one more baseball season left. And Rob Manfred's already out there talking about a lockout. Come on. Why? Why are we doing that?
You can't do it.
Also, the league's back to the negotiating table with ESPN. Oh, and Rob Manfred wants a salary cap in the sport.
You just can't do it. At all costs, you cannot do it.
Like, I hate that it's used as a threat. And I hate that Manfred's saying, well, I'm just going to go around the MLBPA. I want to talk directly to the players. Like, it's not how this works, guy.
My second thing, I saw this earlier this week. So Derrick Henry, he's been in the NFL now for 9 years. He's been a rushing champion. 2 times in his career, he has topped 2,000 yards. And he still is 500 yards away from reaching his 4-year high school rushing total. This dude in 4 years of high school had over 12,000 yards, over 4,000 yards his senior year. That is just, I mean, I knew those numbers. I had heard them before, but that's just incredible. He's been in the league for 9 years and still 500 yards away. Wow.
So, second thing for me, while watching the Cooper Flagg versus Bronny game, there was another guy that was kind of stealing the show and was a guy that I was very high on coming into the draft. Ended up going undrafted, and Dallas picked him up. That's Ryan Nembhard from Gonzaga. Yes, there's another Nembhard coming into the league, and I think can be a really nice backup point guard or maybe even a starter with Kyrie out for the Mavs. But last night he had 21 points, 5 assists, 2 rebounds, was 8 of 14 from the field. And typically with him at Gonzaga, he was more of a playmaker. And I love that he was kind of attacking and finding his shots. So I think he can be a real nice piece for Dallas next season.
Final thing for me, when we come back, it'll be Major League Baseball's All-Star break. I wanted to ask this question earlier with the announcement yesterday of the Home Run Derby. Are either of you two interested in that thing Monday night?
Not at all.
Yeah.
I am. I don't know. It still doesn't generate the same pop as it did probably 10 years ago. But I like to have some hard-earned cash put on it.
From that standpoint, I get it. Yeah.
I need Ellie De La Cruz in there. I need Aaron Judge.
I see the roster and I go, this isn't sexy.
I need Cal Raleigh. I need all those guys. Final thing for me, I've been fighting it, but we're full on vacation mode. These updates the next couple of hours. Whoever's in charge of the booze card, I need them to bring it by Edit Bay 2, where I'll be working on the updates because I'm full on vacation mode now, boys. I hope you have great shows next week. I won't be paying attention.
I hope you enjoy the vacation. I hope you pay zero attention to sports because we are off the air here in the next couple of minutes. We'll invite all families and their kids to come into the studio as it is Getaway Day. If you want to touch the buttons, if you want to talk into the microphones, you'll have to do so around Rothman and Ice, who come up next. Bishop and Friends is back Monday. Bo, Tim, Jacob Reimer. 20 most interesting, the SMU Ponies on the Fan.
We've been your Jackets flagship station since day one. All the goals, all the action, all the memories. Your home for the Columbus Blue Jackets, the Fan, Ohio sports destination.
We can come the day you call us.
We're 1-800-GOT-JUNK.
We make junk disappear. All you have to do is point.
Brian, I've been meaning to ask you something.
Okay, ask away.
Sometimes when we're talking, I hear a little sparkling sound.
Is it when one of us says, all you have to do is point?
There it is. Did you hear that?
That's the sound of magic happening.
Magic? Like we can come the day you call us? Wow.
Call 1-800-GOT-JUNK or visit 1-800-GOT-JUNK.com.
Hey, what's up? It's T-Bone for Window Nation. Did you know their co-founders are Ohio natives? Well, you should. Window Nation has been replacing windows in the Columbus region for over 15 years. Not only does Window Nation know what windows work best for Ohio homeowners like you, they're also local to the area. And right now, you can take advantage of Window Nation's biggest sale of the year. Remember this number, 50% off. All window styles, all from Window Nation. 50% off plus 0 interest for 5 whole years. Yeah, I said that. 5 whole years, 2030. No interest on the windows from Window Nation. Plus, they'll install your new windows in 1 day or less. Get the windows you want for 50% off plus no interest until 2030. What are you waiting for? Call 866-90-NATION or visit windownation.com today to get your free quote on replacement windows. Again, I can't stress this enough. You do not want to miss out on this deal. 866-90-NATION or windownation.com. And tell them T-Bone sent you.
From military life to a rewarding career in IT, kickstart your new journey in a matter of months in the fields of IT and cybersecurity, including AI. Learn more at mycomputercareer.edu/CWP. Financial aid is available for qualified students, including VA benefits.
Breaking news, and this one is almost unbelievable.
Yeah, it's all about new customers at Bet365 because they get $150 in bonus bets when they bet $5, win or lose. And even better, bonus bets can be used on the spread, totals, and player props.
There you have it. Bet $5 to get $150 in bonus bets, win or lose. And see why it's never ordinary at Bet365. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in Ohio. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. T&Cs apply. Available in app only.
Hey there, friends. Bo Bishop here. Hear that? That's the sound of freedom. This July, declare your independence on the open road during RCD RV's Declare Your Independence sale, running July 5th through the 19th, offering all-American savings on all in-stock motorhomes, fifth wheels, and travel trailers. Wave goodbye to ordinary vacations and say hello to adventure. Stop by any of our locations, Delaware, Heath, and Pataskala, or shop online anytime at rcdrv.com. Celebrate the red, white, and blue with unbeatable savings at RCD RV. RCD RV. Freedom starts on the open road.
Do you have 3 ex-wives and your current trophy wife wants a life insurance policy 3 times the size of the policies you had to purchase for your previous mistakes? If so, you need to call Big Lou at Term Provider, 800-777-1225. Big Lou is intimately familiar with your problems, and if you're 50 or 60 years old and in reasonably good health, a $1 million policy should only cost about $100 to $200 per month. Big Lou may have a solution for your previous policies as well. You may even save enough money to lighten the load on your new $1 million policy. Remember, call Big Lou. He's like you, except he's only on number 2. Call Term Provider at 800-777-1225. That's 800-777-1225 for $1 million in term life insurance that you can live with. Call Big Lou at 800-777-1225. 800-777-1225.
Come into your local AAA Tire and Auto Service and save up to $30 on auto repair with their AAA Triple Play. And on the plus side, AAA members save more. Offer valid July 1st through July 31st. See store for details.
Evan Cohen here. Whether you're locking in your home run picks or riding with your favorite golfers this summer, ESPN Bet is your sports book for all the action. Go from checking stats on your favorite teams and players to placing bets in just a few taps. Plus, new customers can get $100 in bonus bets when you make your first $10 wager. Download the ESPN Bet app and sign up with promo code USL to get started today. Must be 21 plus. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details. Offer not available in New York.
The Black Friday and July event from Dell Technologies is here with great offers on trusted technology. You'll also discover huge deals on new AI-ready laptops like the Dell 14 Plus featuring Intel Core Ultra processors starting at $699.99. Save on top accessories, plus enjoy fast, free shipping and other benefits. Upgrade today by visiting Dell.com/deals. That's Dell.com/deals.